Hello, and welcome to the Final Stage Podcast. Here on the Final Stage Podcast, we want to make sure that you know about the dangers of physical exhaustion. Sometimes, you just feel tired, and you feel really tired. And I mean super tired. So tired that it makes you feel stupid. Find yourself slurring your words even though you've had no alcohol in your system. And you find yourself with very little energy, and it might prevent you from doing the things that you love, such as staying up at night and watching a game show live while it airs in Japan. One of the most common symptoms of extreme exhaustion is sudden tiredness and falling asleep spontaneously.
William. Well. Hey.
Huh? What? Hold on.
Hey, isn't that spoiler for a little bit later on?
No. Anyway, hey, ever wondered what happens when you just spontaneously fall asleep at 9 p.m. then wake up at 8 a.m.? Well, that happened to me, so,
Yeah.
make sure that... Okay, I just want to say, it's a good thing I never, committed to doing a pre-show before Kunoichi last month, because, about the bad live stream. This one would have been worse. It would have been an hour of me acting dumb and then falling asleep right there and there, and the stream would have been 12 hours long, and 11 of it would have been me asleep.
Aww. Well, we'll talk about that later, because I'm sure that's going to come right back up again.
I mean, I felt better
Hello,
once
William.
I woke up, but, Hi, Arsenette.
At first I was like, where's he going with this? Then realize, oh, yeah. I remembered what happened.
I may have alerted
poor
you
thing.
to this ahead of time.
Yeah, you did warn me.
Yeah.
You did warn me.
Yeah, I said, oh man, I feel terrible today. And turns out, yeah, I felt terrible that day.
Oh, that sucks. So,
Could be worse.
it was a good show, though.
Yeah, it could be worse. I could have
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah,
you
could
could have
have
recorded all of it.
could have missed it. Could have completely missed it, but I didn't. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, before we start, I want to do basically pulling off a Band-Aid situation.
Go ahead.
And this is going to sound a little weird for anybody else. Obviously, William knows, and I think half of SMF knows, and all of my Twitter followers know. This is the second to last podcast that we are doing. The TLDR, I'm trying to figure out of a very quick way. I haven't done a video on this because I still can't figure out a way of doing this. It is a personal problem that I have. There were some behind the scenes junk that nobody's gonna see on TV or anything like that, but it's kind of killed the love for Sasuke right now. Now, not Sasuke by itself, but the current direction of the show. Now, you guys that heard my last year, actually, when we did the Sasuke 32, that I had some reservations with how it was edited or anything like that. I already had that issue, and that's how I retired doing the spoilerific blogs that I normally did. So this is a little worse, and I'll go into it's just a lot of BS in the background. So as a result, and William and I had a very long sit down on this because I was trying to figure out how this is going to work. And given this is a Sasuke centric podcast, I didn't think it was going to be fair to basically try to put up appearances, because I'm not happy right now. And there's no point in doing something that is causing more issues. So William and I are probably gonna end up doing some other stuff on our own, and we'll discuss that probably in the next podcast. But as for me, I'm no longer supporting Sasuke. And again, it's not stuff that you'll see on TV or anything like that, and I'll go through that a little bit later. But yeah, so this is the second to last podcast, and it's funny because we did it right before the 2-year anniversary. So, but in the meantime, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about that is still near and dear to my heart, and given there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on now that's outside of Sasuke that we can cover. We decided to finish that off for this month, and then do more next month since we're still in the middle of it, and just have one big final stage podcast. So, but yeah, that's the TLDR of what is going to change. I mean, obviously I didn't want to make like this big whole spiel because it's a personal thing, but you guys needed to know because there's a lot of new people that like out of nowhere started supporting this podcast, and I'm really sorry. Like, seriously, I really am. But we're gonna try to make at least the last two at least enjoyable, and maybe if we transition to something else, maybe you guys will find that content also is good or entertaining or anything. But I do want to thank everybody. I seriously didn't think that many people outside of like 2 or 3 people from SMF were gonna follow this, and you guys have been really active on Twitter, on YouTube, sending messages, email. I've had a blast, and I'm gonna miss doing these, but I guess out of respect for you guys, I want to keep it real. And so yeah, so that's the downer, hopefully, for the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you said, we talked about it ahead of time. I was a bit more quiet on the situation, personally, because I kind of wanted to figure out what this meant for me and stuff, and all that. I mentioned it in one location, but like, obviously I support Arsenette. If you kind of, yeah. I mean, this show would be nothing without her, quite frankly. Because we all know I'm not good at doing a podcast on my own.
Oh, you were fine, but I respect that as well. I listen to you, William.
Yeah, well, I work better in a scripted discussion video than a unscripted one, apparently. When I'm by myself.
Right. Okay.
I'm not trying to bury the show. But I had this, I mentioned this already online, but I had this whole big plan for what I wanted to do with 222 Productions this year, and I kind of decided to discard most of it after recent events as well. And I kind of want to kind of focus more on what 222 Productions was always supposed to be in the beginning. And conveniently, I put out a video, which we'll discuss when it comes to my month. But I mean, I'm going to miss this show when it's over. But Arsenette's.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
like, seriously, I had a lot of fun. And
we'll reminisce next. We'll reminisce next month. Yeah. But like, you're my friend. I support you, and I look forward to both of our future endeavors.
Yay! Don't make me cry.
I'll save that for next month.
By the way, on the I might as well just talk about my month. First, and crying. Rich and Bijan.
Yeah.
Hello. This literally came out of left field. For anybody that figures out how I listen to Armchair Ninja podcast, and this specific day, 95% of the time, I play like MMOs and long games like Civilization and that sort of thing. I can play like one game for like 10 hours straight with like zero issues. And usually what I do is I queue up a whole bunch of podcasts. It's sort of like, ooh, I got 6 of them today. Click, plug my iPhone, make sure it's nice and charged, and just hit the play. And that's what I did. So I was listening to Armchair, the last episode, because I really wanted to hear them talk about Ultimate Beastmaster. And no, not Ultimate Beastmaster. Actually, this is the one that's coming up soon. The All Star Special. Yeah, the All Star Special, which we'll be discussing as well.
Yeah.
And so just listening to it, and of course, I've been enjoying them more and more because you can tell that they're a lot more comfortable doing the formats, and so I just enjoy it. So I'm listening to it and doing fine. Get like to the last few minutes, and out of nowhere they announce, that we're leaving. And it's sort of like, what? So like my husband's sitting next to me because he's playing Diablo. I'm playing Civ on my side. Where he has his headphones on. I just burst into tears. It was sort of like, wait, what? So my husband's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good. I'm like typing furiously because, and Rich will know this because I do this every single time. I kind of live tweet the podcast stuff. So like I started off and I'm like, ha ha ha, because he does it like if I'm correcting him, which is true, because he did ask, let me know if these things are true or not. So he was asking about, last year's schedule where the All-Star Special supposedly was earlier and then the USA versus World was later. No, it was reversed. USA versus World was in January, and then we didn't get All-Stars until like freaking June. Like May or June, like right before season 8 started. And so they're saying it's reversed, and of course my eyebrows ticking, someone's wrong in the internet. So I'm listening to that, and it was just so I'm sitting there typing, and he's sending a message, and I send another message, and all of a sudden I get hit with the freight train. I'm like, damn you. So he thought it was funny because he was laughing at me because here I am correcting him. And thank you for the invitation, Bijan and Rich, for future collaborations on Armchair on other topics and whatever. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll find something to talk about. And I still love Sasuke, and nothing would change that. I'm gonna kind of concentrate on stuff like Sasuke before, and not necessarily Sasuke future. So, I'll correct you guys if you want me to. So yeah, but that was my story. It was sort of like, wait, what?
I've never seen someone so excited to like correct someone. Like, oh, don't worry, I'll correct you. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really nice.
Sorry, I'm OCD.
It was really nice. Yeah, thanks.
You did ask.
Thanks. Ask and you shall receive. But yeah, no, thanks to Rich and Bijan. I also listened to it, except it didn't catch me off guard because I actually read the descriptions of the podcast.
I didn't. I just finished listening to one podcast and went straight to the other. Like literally, it just goes in a playlist, so I didn't get to read it.
But yeah, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Love you guys too. But they weren't the only ones to give us a shout out this past month.
Yes, I was very, very, very surprised.
Yes, so
if anything, that was why I was conflicted in dealing with that other stuff. Is like, great, now there's a whole bunch of new people coming in here just as we die.
Oh well. So for those of you who don't know, AmericanNinjaWarriorNation.com made a list of the 5 podcasts that you should listen to, and we made the list.
Yeah, I did that. I loved their description. This is for the hardcore.
Yeah, we're for the hardcore crowd.
Yeah, hardcore.
We want to know about the history of Sasuke.
Yes, the insane minutia that most people would go, what? It's funny because I actually wear glasses and I go, actually. I'm one of those people. Oh my god. No, this is what the people complain about. I was like, no, I'm an actually person.
Hey, look at it this way. At least we'll only be...
Actually, Rich and Bijan, it was actually in January 2015.
Oh, God. 16. Never do that again. For the love of God, never do that again. Hey, look at it this way. At least we'll only be the second podcast to stop updating that's on that list. Never mind.
Oh, Jesse?
Yeah, well. It says right on the article that she hasn't updated one lately, so
yeah.
Nothing malicious.
Jesse has extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, to be fair, she's a busy woman, but still.
Hey, I was looking at Lucy Romberg's Instagram just today, and apparently,
you didn't know?
Jessie and her pet pig were in Tempest.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to teach the pig to jump about 2 feet. That wasn't happening.
Yeah, never know.
That pig is huge. It's like a freaking warthog.
It's a big pig, yeah.
That's a huge pig.
Did you since we're talking about Lucy, you hear about Lucy's returning to ANW?
Yes, I was excited for her.
Yeah.
It's been years.
It's been quite some time. I think.
Well, she was filming back to back.
Well, see, for those of you who don't know, Lucy Romberg is the personal stunt woman for Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Melissa McCarthy, she's been doing a lot of movies lately.
Just a wee bit busy.
So Lucy's had a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Which is good for her.
I'm so excited.
So yeah.
I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really curious because I haven't seen her do one of these in quite a number of years.
I want to say...
Now, granted, she wasn't Team Ninja.
She wasn't Team. I think her last appearance was ANW 5?
5, I think.
Yeah.
Did they even show her?
Yeah, because she... Actually, it might have been ANW 4.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Because I remember...
like she says that she hasn't been on modern ANW in quite a while.
I think it was ANW 4, actually, now that I think about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, that's years ago.
Yeah.
Heck, there's some listeners that haven't even been following the show that long.
That is true.
Because there are a lot of new ones coming in from like 6 to 8, so... Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before I forget, to finish off my month, I will be finishing the Rambling Week in Japan videos. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it done by the end of this week, due to the other stuff that's going on in the background. But I did get the Jeff Britton interview. Thank you, Jeff.
Yay.
That was so cool. I got a lot of really good feedback on that. I don't know why. I usually suck at doing these things. As I'm editing this thing down, I'm going, shut up, meaning me, because I'm like, I would either talk over him or not do follow-ups, so I'm like beating myself up going, that was a beautiful, you just dropped that, I was so upset with myself. So I spent like 4 days editing that. Just... but with an interview, it's sort of like you just.
I was gonna say.
You did what? 6 of them? 7 of them?
Hold on. I was gonna say now you know what I feel like when I'm editing the podcast.
Yeah, but you also did interviews. And
that's not what I'm referring to, but yeah.
Oh, okay. No, but that's different. That's just me yakking.
I know. No, I'm just
Like, there are people that obviously won't listen to this, but they will listen to a Jeff interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's like, who's this Yahoo that's totally screwing this up? Yeah, that'll be me.
Hey, do yourself a favor. Put Jeff Britton is a hottie in the tags, because apparently people search that based on my YouTube results.
Really?
Yeah, don't you remember that?
I should check mine.
Don't you remember that tweet I sent out a while back where I'm like, I'm looking at my YouTube statistics and it's like, what are people searching who are finding my videos?
I forgot about that. Oh, I gotta check that out, I'm sure.
Yeah, so one of my search terms was I think it was Jeff Britton the hottie was the exact term. And I'm just like, well, I mean,
I'm sure he'll like that.
Oh no, he did. He liked it. He liked it on Twitter. And someone, I forget who, because this was a while ago, someone was like, they know he's married, right? But I'm like, well, that doesn't make the statement wrong.
That is true.
Yeah, and he liked that tweet also, so you're welcome, Jeff. You are an attractive man.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say on the subject because I'm married too.
See, I'm not
as
married,
as I quote my grandmother from like years ago, "We are married, but not to each other." That's my favorite line. When she used to talk about actors and she walks in the most inappropriate times, the stuff that you don't want to... Yeah.
Okay.
But she would kill the mood.
Sorry,
You're
that
married,
just...
but just not to each other, right?
just completely flew over my head there.
You're quite welcome. So how was your month?
Well, there was a national holiday this past month. The birthday of President George Washington.
And followed by
the birthday of Gunma-chan, mascot of the Gunma Prefecture, who once won Best Mascot Award.
Oh, that was that thing you tweeted?
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was. I'm like, Japan has some really weird mascots.
Well, if you watch a certain show, you'll remember him.
Yeah.
But also, on that same day as those two birthdays, is also the birthday of Steve Irwin. May he rest in peace. He was so great.
Happy birthday. Crikey.
Yeah.
To you.
But also on that day
dear William.
was my birthday because I ran out of celebrities to name.
Happy birthday!
Hey! I went bowling the other day with my friends. It was fun.
That's cool.
We did it under
That's cool. It's always good.
We did it under black lights and stuff.
Oh my god.
Well, it's
I've never done that.
Oh, you
That
should.
kind of freaks my eyes out.
That's a shame. It's really fun. You got,
it would be fun though.
All the music and stuff. I'm
God,
okay.
I don't remember the last time I
at
bowled. Then
also,
I suck at bowling.
Yeah, well, I gotta practice.
I got a bum wrist.
Oh, well then,
Kind of
use your other hand. I don't know.
Broke that one.
Then use both hands at the same time.
I think I'll do both hands at the same time.
There you go. There's some professional bowlers who do that.
Yeah, they have.
But just not the way that most people do it.
I have watched them.
Oh, cool.
Remember, I used to watch ESPN2 as like a hobby.
Yeah, me too. But usually when I'm watching ESPN2, I'm watching billiards. Back in the day.
I have watched that too.
I've watched a lot of billiards back in the day. Billiards was fun. They should bring that back.
I think that's why I liked it. I actually love the movie Dodgeball because if it's almost a sport, it's on ESPN8, the Ocho.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, I'm flipping through channels. What the heck is this?
This has nothing to do.
And I just sit there, crack out popcorn, and just start watching. That's how I saw Viking.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Fine. This does have something to do.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey. Also, on 2/22, the date, I released the very first channel trailer for 2/22 Productions.
And it was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I loved it. And it's not because you're my friend. I was under. That's exactly how it should be.
There you go.
And I love how you said about it. It was 9 years in the making.
Yeah, but it took me long enough to come up with a channel trailer. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have enough for a channel trailer, and I still don't know what the heck I'm going to do with mine.
Well, I mean, I wanted to send a message, and I think I accomplished that.
Yes. I loved it.
All right, that's good. So that's
Yay.
one person.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm kidding. It's all good.
You do know that, you have one homework for me.
What's that?
Take as many Nagano photos and videos as possible.
I will take photos when I can.
Yeah. It's like, why is everybody sending... Actually, he's actually pretty good with videos and photos, so should be fine.
Yeah.
After a while, he'll only complain about, I think my smile is stuck. Ow, this hurts. The one thing that I would say to make sure is he has an intense look, and no, he's not angry with you.
Of course not.
No, but literally, he does that all the time, and it scares the bejesus out of everybody. It's sort of like, did I do something wrong? Or it's like, oh, he doesn't look happy. Or, am I really bothering him? Because he just has that look. I used to make jokes about that on my blog all the time. It's sort of like, yeah, there goes the annoyed Nagano look. And he just like cracks up and he's like, why is everybody walking away from me? And I'm like, my face chases people away. And I'm like, just why do you do that? What? I'm giving my undivided attention. It's like you're like scowling at them. Ooh, sorry. So he thinks that everybody's afraid of him when he has that look. So yes, so if you see it, don't panic.
Yeah, so just relatively quickly, the National Ninja League Season 2 Finals is March 4th and 5th. It is literally the day after this episode goes up. In fact, if you're listening to this podcast when it goes up, chances are I am on a plane on my way to California to cover the event.
Yay!
Yay! There will be a bunch of ninja competitors that you have probably heard of there.
Oh, quite a bit.
Such as, but not limited to, Drew Dressel, Jesse LeBrecq, Alyssa Beard, John Alexis, Chris Ganji, Seth Rogers, Sean Noel, I'm just going at this, Michael Bernardo, it's Michelle Wonky, Christy Pratt. It's actually this list is a lot harder to read when I'm trying to do it really quickly. Carson Williams.
Just think of ANW in the last 5 years, and
Yeah.
chances are they're going to be in there.
Oh, apparently David Campbell is on the list. He wasn't on it before.
Yes.
I guess he confirmed.
He just qualified.
Well, originally he wasn't on the list of people who confirmed that they were coming to the finals, but now he is.
Oh,
Cause,
cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The last time I checked, Jessie hasn't confirmed she's going to be able to make it to the finals, and she's qualified also. Jessie Graff, that is.
And then I confirmed that Jeff is not going to be able to go there, and that's on my interview.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah, that
Morosky is
sucks.
going. Zach Day. Jordan Kaufman. I'm just reading names at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of people.
Lots of people.
So
just
definitely follow you on your Twitter and definitely on the YouTube channel because you'll have lots of content for several months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, so I should probably address that really quickly. Okay. Last year, I tried getting everything up, like, as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take, like, an extra week to edit everything. I'm not going to upload everything right away. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure everything is done before I start uploading. Because I made a few mistakes with editing last year, and I don't want to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give myself a little extra time. The plan is still to get everything up in the month of March, but don't expect it, like, that week that I get home, you know?
I still don't know how the heck you did it.
I persevered.
Yeah.
Sheer perseverance.
That's just yeah. So they'll get out when you have the opportunity to do, and then definitely follow him on social media because he does updates on how he's doing, if he's backwards or if he's ahead of schedule or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plus the Nintendo Switch comes out that weekend also, and I kind of want to play it. That's assuming, of course, Best Buy actually has my pre-order ready this weekend, because they haven't confirmed that I'm actually picking it. Well, my dad's going to be able to pick it up on Friday.
Oh, good luck on that.
Even though I've paid already, so
let's take your receipt.
Yeah, so
well,
I hope
he's gonna have to take the receipt and
no,
from there because you're gonna be just about getting ready to leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a plane. So hopefully when I get home from California, there'll be a Nintendo Switch, as well as a copy of Zelda and Bomberman waiting for me in my bedroom.
Cool.
If not, I'm going to be.
Oh, you're gonna do an unboxing video?
No, I'm not gonna do an unboxing video.
Okay.
Everyone has already done an unboxing video. There's no point. Who needs another look it up. It's inside of it's like, spoiler alert. There's a Nintendo Switch inside of a box. So, like, shocking. Like, I don't get it. Like,
are you gonna do like gameplay of you trying it out and all the cursing? Of like, wait, what? Huh?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll see.
I'm being facetious.
Let's just hope that I actually get the console, because as of recording
that will
this,
be a video unto itself.
I will not be happy if it turns out that Best Buy.
Oh, it better not be, because that's not a cheap thing
No.
to all of a sudden just like disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
God damn.
So yeah, you'll get all that stuff when you can, and I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Because I won't be there.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. Just to give everyone a little update about the actual event itself. For those of you who might remember, there was a contest when it comes to the league play, where the man and woman who scored the most points during the normal league play, not only do they get to go last within their respective gender division, they also get $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, so the winner of the female division was Alyssa Beard.
Okay.
She just inched out Jessie Lebrecq in points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessie was leading for quite a while.
Yeah. I think it literally came down to the last event. Alyssa was able to overcome Jessie.
Wow.
And the winner of the males division is actually an unknown competitor named Ernest Phillips.
Ooh, you get to meet him in a week.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the Movement Lab, the National Ninja League official YouTube channel, I mean, you'll see a bunch of videos of him, because he won a lot of the regionals. But yeah, he hasn't appeared on ANW yet, so hopefully we see him there, because he's quite a talented.
Yeah, I hope so too, because
competitor.
there's a lot of good competitors that haven't had their chance.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go down, going to interview people, I'm going to meet Nagano, and I will get the videos up as soon as I can, without going crazy.
Good. Well, I look forward to it, so I already follow you on social media, so I'll get to see everything.
Yeah, very convenient. So, speaking of American Ninja Warrior, they're actually taping the days after the National Ninja League.
Yes. Oh, it was what? Because it's that Tuesday, I think.
I thought it was Thursday, but I could be wrong.
No, I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. So even closer. So yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So the ANW season is back.
Yes, and that's good. Full throttle all the way through.
Exactly. So also, congratulations to Matt Eisman for winning the new Celebrity Apprentice.
Yay!
Yep. So he won.
I haven't watched it, but I watched it by proxy because I listened to our Turn Into podcast.
Yeah, me too. He won a bunch of money for the Arthritis Foundation, I believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
very active member on that.
He defeated Boy George in the final round. So congratulations to him.
Yay!
But this past month, we got to watch the ANW 8 All Star Special.
Yes, the one that taped in June 2016.
Well,
So for people that are a bit confused, because there were quite a bit of them, they're like, when did this tape? This taped the day after, 2 days after the USA versus World, which still hasn't aired yet.
They also haven't even acknowledged it.
No, they probably switched it in order, because remember last year they had World in January, and then everybody's like, where the hell's the All-Star Special? And then that didn't show up until like June. It was like the couple weeks before season 8 had aired, and that was the season 7 event. So it was very jarring, going like, wait, what? So this time they reversed it. So
well, here's the thing. I don't know if you caught this, because usually you don't listen to the commentary, but at the very end of the All-Star Special, Eisman said, "See you next season." So that line, and that just might be because it was the last thing they taped.
Yeah,
but
it is the last thing they taped.
But there was a part of me that was like,
They're not gonna air it at the USA versus World? No, they'll probably air it.
Yeah,
they'll probably air it.
Maybe
it's probably gonna be right before.
Yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but like, you know.
Look, I'm still super salty Japan wasn't invited.
Well. nothing we can do.
So as far
point.
as I'm concerned, I'm like, I don't care.
No.
It's still a long season. Like in general, I feel bad for the athletes, especially, you know, the ones that have gotten really far. I mean, when I was talking to Jeff about what happened to him, where his body just literally just broke apart, and he couldn't do USA versus World that first year, because he won and then he had like 0 time to do that, and then he ended up sleeping through the All-Stars. It's sort of like, so people complaining that they didn't see enough of Jessie. Jessie was like on her 5th day competing. She owes nobody nothing. So it's just, wow. It's a long haul. Now, right off, are we gonna like jump straight into it, or are you gonna do like setup for this? Go.
All right. Well, let me set you up.
Okay.
So first was the team competition. There was a few differences. For starters, it was actually shorter. It was only 40 minutes instead of an hour. This time around, the format was different. It was now 3 teams of 3 people each. Team Matt versus Team Akbar versus Team Christine. On Team Matt was Chris Wilczewski, Najee Richardson, and Jesse Lebrecq. On Team Akbar was Grant McCartney, Neil Craver, and Megan Martin. And on Team Christine was Jesse Graff, Flip Rodriguez, and Nicholas Coolidge. And I really want to know like what the format was for choosing the people, because you know, if I had free reign and free choice over all the competitors, I would, you know, quite frankly choose Drew Dressel. The guy who went further than anyone else. So I'm curious if there was any sort of limitations in regards to who could be picked.
I agree with the thought pattern that Rich and Bijan had, where they were thinking that they wanted people that hadn't gotten to the 3rd stage.
It makes sense, but you know.
Although they kind of have before, a couple of them at least.
Well,
so that
none
kind
of
of
them
doesn't hold water.
None of them have made it to stage 3 in the normal competition.
Yeah, but it's still...
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, well, that's sort of a thought, but I don't know. To be honest, perfectly honest, I fast forward through 3/4 of this.
Okay.
Because I still think that this should be pruned. They should just go straight up skills challenge and just ignore the team competition.
I'll say this. I think the team competition was better this year than it was last year, but
I do agree.
But I do agree that, like, you know, I wouldn't feel bad if they just cut it out, because like it's a lot like last year, this feels like a 3-hour show that got cut down to 2 hours.
Yes, it was. Yeah, especially the parts that they cut.
Yeah,
one
so
specifically.
Like, we'll get to that. But yeah, there was stuff that you know, if they got rid of the team competition, I wouldn't be against it. But so I'll just go through everything. I'll just go through team competition really quickly. So the rules for stage 1 were simple. Each team ran through stage 1 relay style. The team that finishes the course the fastest automatically moves on to stage 3. First up was Team Akbar, that finished in 1:25. Then was Team Matt, who got disqualified at the Sonic Curve when Jesse Lebrecq's foot touched the water. And then Team Christine finished in 1 minute and 18 seconds, so they won the first stage and moved on to stage 3. The biggest difference was that Flip finished his section faster than Grant finished his section in the beginning. Stage 2, first was Team Matt, who made it to the double wedge of stage 2, but Chris Wilczewski failed that obstacle, which is also where he failed during the normal competition. And then Team Akbar failed at the butterfly wall when Megan Martin overshot the jump to the trampoline and essentially jumped past it and fell right into the water. And you could tell she let out like a shocking like one of those like surprise screams that some people give out.
Like you already know in the air is going no.
Yeah, like she hit like the top of the the top lip of the trampoline.
Oh no, you're in no man's zone. There's sort of like oh crap.
Yeah, she mistimed the jump, so Team Akbar was out. So it came down to stage 3, Matt versus Christine. Whoever does better wins the whole thing. So Team Matt went first. First was Chris. He did his section. Then Naji did his section up until he got to the hang climb, which he unfortunately failed because he couldn't figure it out. Seems like he didn't have a lot of experience with rock climbing holds. So yeah.
That's a common mistake in that obstacle specifically.
Yeah. But then was Team Christine, and they ended up finishing the whole thing. So Team Christine wins, and if my memory is correct, Flip Rodriguez is the only person to be on the winning team both seasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so
again, that's how much I really pay attention to it. And it means it's no disrespect to the competitors at all. I just think it's so repetitive because these are the same obstacles we're now seeing for the 4th time.
Yeah.
And so it's like I would rather see those exact same people on the latter half of the show. Just make the whole thing like that. It's just
Yeah, it just feels redundant, quite frankly.
I know a lot of people, that was one of the biggest complaints last year, and then even louder this year, going, yeah, I appreciate the effort, and I still love these people, but can you just put them in the skills challenge? Save yourself a lot of money, a lot of time, save yourself a taping day, and just go straight to the skills. I think a lot more people will actually enjoy it, and you'll have a lot more people participating as well, because they won't be on their 4th, 5th night taping. Because that's a lot on an athlete to constantly be up like that for that length of time. Save Matt and Akbar's voice, specifically Matt's. Yeah. God, he had to do all of that. Eek.
Yep. All right. So moving on to the skills challenges. So
what I like to call William's stupid obstacles.
Yeah.
I love that phrase. I love stupid obstacles.
Exactly.
I loved this year's.
So let's start with the ones that got relegated to YouTube.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, there are 3 events that could be viewed in its entirety at youtube.com/NBC Ninja Warrior. That is the right address, right? I'm going to assume that's the right address.
I thought it was American Ninja Warrior.
I
think it was American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, no, I'm right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay me.
Congratulations.
Okay.
I usually just search American Ninja Warrior, sort it by date, and voila.
There you go. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the striding steps. This was
interesting.
I'm going to say this. I really like this one.
Okay, it was interesting. I'm not going to say there was not anyone like for any of these skills and whatever. I appreciate when they tried doing something new. So I never straight up knock obstacles unless it was a complete fail, and I didn't have any complete fails. It was okay. It was interesting, and at first I had no idea how they were going to time that, and so go ahead and describe exactly how they go through this thing.
All right, so the striding steps, it takes place in the beginning of stage 2. It's in that water pit. So the starting platform is actually underneath the starting platform for where stage 2 normally starts. Mm-hmm. What they have to do is they have to run across a series of small platforms that are sticking out of the ground, grab a rope that allows them to turn around, run back, climb up a rope that's at the start, and then hit the buzzer to stop the clock. There were 4 competitors. The 2 fastest times would move on to the finals, and the fastest between those 2 is the champion. So, first up was Jake Murray, who failed. So he was out right away. He lost his balance trying to go fast, and then he went into the water. By the way, so it's obvious that American Ninja Warrior does post commentary.
We call that looping.
Yeah. So I believe it was during Jake Murray's run, I saw the most obvious post record commentary add-in ever. Because for those of you who don't know, I want you to imagine this. So they built a platform where the salmon ladder is for Matt and Akbar to stand. So this is one of the closest spots that they are to an obstacle, and more importantly, they're on camera a good amount of the time. And so at one point when Jake Murray's doing the run, you hear Akbar say, "I see you, Jake," or something like to that degree.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you look at Akbar, his microphone is down.
Yep.
It is not in front of his mouth. He is not talking at that time. So Akbar has apparently developed the ability to talk without actually moving his lips. So apparently he's a ventriloquist.
There are words, but they're not coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I think this just
awkward.
I think this just confirms my theory that they're slowly turning Akbar into a soundboard.
Oh.
So yeah, that was kind of bad. Anyway,
he's a meme generator.
More or less.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually quite common, which is why I have always been critical, because if you had the time to loop something, why are you looping something that is either factually incorrect or just yeah. So think about that whenever you have one of those controversial statements. You can go back and take that out. So whatever's there is willful.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, yeah, so that's, I'm sure probably in the future they'll find ways to kind of like hide them. I don't know.
Maybe
I mean, they were legit
show.
there, so it's not like, you know.
I mean, they were there.
Because there have been other shows where, you know, they're talking over something and they weren't physically there, but they're talking as if they were there, in which case it is fake as all that. But so they were actually there. He just didn't say those particular words at that particular time, which makes it all awkward.
Just use a different angle.
You know what it reminded me of when I was trying to find a GIF for it? Because you did post that on social media. I kept thinking of the movie Kung Pao.
Yeah.
Your shirt is red. Your shirt is black now. Do you remember that part with Betty? It was, yeah. They were taking two entirely separate scenes and juxtaposing it as one scene. So obviously somebody's shirt was black at one point and then it was red because that was two different movies. And so that's what I kept thinking of when I saw this. Like, I am the great magician. Your shirt is black. So that's what I kept thinking of when they said it. I was like, yeah, that's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward. It's like, it's not there. Team 4-Star does a better job in making the lips move, even though they're in the original they didn't. So
second up in the Striding Steps competition was Daniel Gill, who finished with a very fast time. Then was Casey Catanzaro. She did a respectable time, completing the course. And it's obvious that ANW hasn't given up on Casey at this point, because they had the commentators be like, Casey is currently in second place and has a chance at moving on to the finals. I'm like, yes, that's what happens when you're currently in second place out of 3 people who have gone and there's one person left.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like this is some sort of huge revelation,
Why
Matt?
didn't they have more people?
that is something I do wish that they did, is that for many of these because most of these competitions it was just 4 people, and for ones that were tournament style I get, but for the ones that weren't, like,
I think that's why what I was hoping, if you got rid of the team competition, you have more leeway to have more people there.
Yeah.
And so it's just sort of like I don't get it.
Because, like, one thing that kind of confused me is that, like, Michelle Wonky was right there. And why didn't they use her? Like, because, like, they kept, like, you know, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting them, but, like, Jesse Graff and Jesse LeBrecq and Megan Martin pulled double duty so much during this double and sometimes triple duty. And it's like, you know, there's other, like, women who have broken out. And have been well known this season. Like, you can use some of them. Yeah.
I just think they can just overhaul that, make one big skills challenge, and then just go from there. And I think it would just and have it more evenly represented. And if you're having something like that, have more people, because it kind of reminds me of whenever doing, like, guessing games on things like, hey, who's gonna up in the final, and then they're like, okay, I saw in the commercial that there was at least 1 finalist, but there's only 2 people in the 3rd stage. This kind of ends climactic at this point, you know what I mean? Yeah. We've had that happen before, like, you know, with the Morimoto win, where it's like, he's the only one that cleared, and they show somebody in the final. Fine. You know what I mean? It's like, why am I watching? The other thing is, well, they fast forwarded this section, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they gave the results.
Yeah.
So why did you just spoiled? Like, why would somebody go to the YouTube thing to watch it, other than, like, in the future it's there for posterity because you don't have the full All Star Special online?
I get why they did it. It's more like, I guess the YouTube thing was more like a bonus, and Because here's the thing, more people I feel like are going to watch the TV show than the YouTube clips, so it's like, you know, letting them know what happened, you know? Yeah. Because I would feel worse if the people in those events didn't get mentioned at all in the broadcast.
It's true, but it's just, it was weirdly edited.
I think there's no winning situation. Like I said, this feels like a 3-hour show that got edited down to 2.
Yeah.
So... anyway, so the final, so then Thomas Stillings went and he beat Casey's time. So it came down to Daniel Gill and Thomas Stillings. Thomas Stillings finished faster than his first round, but slower than Daniel Gill's first round after he missed the buzzer twice trying to hit it.
Yeah, I saw that part.
So Daniel Gill tried to beat Thomas Stillings' time, and unfortunately, Daniel lost his balance and fell and failed to finish the course. So Thomas Stillings wins the Striding Steps Challenge. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Daniel Gill and Thomas Stillings are, like, good friends who have a friendly rivalry with each other.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So Thomas Stillings wins this round. 1 second. Okay, never mind.
By the way, how are we going to, I guess, deal with the questions and stuff later?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I just thought of it right now.
Shit. Do it at the end of, do it when we're done with ANW.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
We'll do the ANW stuff. Okay. Alright, so, the next event that was cut was the Big Air Grab.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was replacing the jump hang competition from last year. And last year that event was.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was spent the entire time. I was like, I know some things were replaced, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. It was the jump hang. Got it.
Yeah. So last year the jump hang was co-won by Brent Stephenson and Nicholas Coolidge. This year the Big Air Grab, it's they had to jump off a platform onto a big trampoline and grab a ledge that is hanging in the air and try to grab it and hang on. The event was contested between Brent Stephenson, Kevin Bull, Nicholas Coolidge, Grant McCartney, and Megan Martin. In the end, it came down to Brent Steffensen and Nicholas Coolidge at 16.5 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Brent failed. Nicholas won. So Nicholas Coolidge is the champion, and he is the only person to win 2 events during the All Star Challenge this year. So good night for him.
Cool. Yay.
Good night for him.
Yeah, that was a very good night.
And so the third event that got skipped, and as soon as I found out it got skipped, I can hear you before you even watch the event. I knew exactly what your reaction was going to be. So the event was the Thunderbolt Challenge, which is...
Oh, it was... No. It was Jesse Graff's Thunderbolt.
Well,
Did you read the YouTube thing?
Well, don't you know, it was Jesse Graff who won the All-Star Team competition. The other 2 apparently didn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know,
so...
like their current defending champion.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yes, I know, it's all YouTube stuff.
Yeah, it's search engine optimization.
It's the first 4 words of your title or in the description are the ones that are they're meta tagged. And Jesse's name is far more recognizable than the current champion of ANW.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me. And now, for the record, I love Jessie. So this is not disparaging her at all. It was sort of like, can't you just call it the Thunderbolt? Just, that's exactly what it is. And it's sort of like, just like, please don't pile more stuff on Jessie. I don't want her to be like the next one that they oversaturate. It's just, come on. It's like NBC's doing the same thing all over again. It's like, stop.
It's the NBC way.
I don't want people to hate her.
Well, neither do I.
No,
hopefully she does well next year, so people don't hate her.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just come on, don't do it again. Don't do it again.
So anyway.
So yes, and that the second thing was the freaking pegboard.
So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the Thunderbolt is a head-to-head pegboard race where they race across this zigzagging pegboard course to
competitors are on either side.
Yep, and they race towards the middle and they have to hit the button. So first up was Jeff Britton versus Travis Rosen.
That was a dream matchup. I thought that was so cool. They were like, pointing to each other, thumbs up. Yeah. That was so cool. It was like my 2 favorite ANW competitors. They are.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah. And then, so Jeff won that one. And then in the second half was Jesse Graff versus defending pegboard champion Brian Arnold. And Brian Arnold won that one. So the finals was Jeff Britton versus Brian Arnold, 2 men with rock climbing experience who can do pegboard as well. But in the end, Jeff Britton won the competition and has another
actually, he has something to show for it. He has a medal now. They gave him a freaking medal.
Ironically, he got more money from winning that than becoming the first American Ninja Warrior.
I could just see the salt dance.
Cause you get $1,000 for winning the skills competition.
And that may be the last you will ever see of him.
Unless he comes back at 40, like you said.
Yeah, I know. But this just like have that in your mind that they could have put this. Well, they did put it in the broadcast. They didn't. You didn't hear him speak.
Yeah.
But it was just like, come on, man. Just fine. They named him the first American Ninja Warrior. I should be happy.
So anyway,
I was okay. Pegboard wise, I was a little surprised on how it evolved because I liked last year's. I thought that was really interesting that you go around in a circle,
right?
I thought it was interesting because it's sort of like endless, and you can just go until you're just like done. And then this one was interesting. I liked the competition aspect of sort of like the same things that we like about Team Ninja Warrior, where they're head to head, so you get to see like, oh crap, I'm moving much slower than the other person who's blown my doors off. So I thought that was interesting. I like the obstacles a bit stupider. Like I wanted it to be bigger, like further, which is the reason why I like the circle, because you can just keep going around.
Right.
So, but as it was, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I was so frustrated it was relegated to a fast forward. So I downloaded it, and it's now mine forever.
So, yeah,
Again, I would have loved to have seen more people on that.
Yeah. So anyway, you know what? So going to the events that did make television.
Mm-hmm.
First up, we have the Endless Invisible the Endless Invisible Climb. They called it.
Oh, okay.
Which is a invisible ladder that had an end to it. But it was set up at the final stage tower. So it was a 75-foot climb using only the invisible ladder structure. This was also contested in tournament format. In the first matchup was James McGrath versus Ryan Stratus. They both did well, but James just powered his way to the top and won that heat. Then the second half was Chris Wilczewski versus Jamie Ron. But in the end, Captain NBC made it to the top first, and Jamie moved on.
Okay.
And then the finals was James McGaff and Jamie Ron, and it wasn't even close, unfortunately, because James lives up to his name of being a beast.
The beast.
And he powered up to the top in 34 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great prototype for maybe them updating the final stage of ANW to something that's not just a rope climb.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that the ANW final, after a win, was still a rope.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Sasuke went stupid and threw 3 obstacles on there, and then ANW still has a rope. Like, it made no sense.
They should do
had an invisible ladder up at the top. Oh, God.
Yeah. How about spider climb into invisible ladder?
I don't know. Y'all do obstacles and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah. Or maybe they could do some sort of super giant salmon ladder. Such as the next such as the next event we're talking about, the Super Salmon Ladder. It's returns once again, 35 rungs, 4 stories tall, 4 competitors, including defending champion Michael Bernardo. So first up was Jon Stewart. No, not the Green Lantern. Who made it up 25 rungs. He's pretty good doing it. Next up was Jessie Lebrecq, who used fear as a motivator to not fall. But unfortunately, she fell at rung 19. After him was I'm sorry. After her was Karsten Williams, who he seemed really struggling throughout the entire way. Seemed like it was like very sloppy and very, it seemed like he had a lot of trouble getting up. But
salmon ladder's no joke, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's no joke. But like he looked like he wasn't even going to like beat Jesse, and he made it to the top somehow in 1 minute. So finally was Mike Bernardo, defending champ. All he had to do was get to the top in less than 1 minute, and Jeff totally alluded to this happening in your interview with him.
Spoilers!
But it turns out that when you have a timer on it, things get a little tougher in your mind psychologically.
Yeah.
Mike made it to rung number 34 with 15 seconds left. And he could not hold on.
One more.
He had to do 1 rung in 15 seconds. And unfortunately for him, he slipped. Yeah. So Karsten Williams is the new Super Salmon Ladder champion.
Yeah. That's...
So, congratulations to him.
Yay! It was just, yeah. That was just like, oh! That's all I was, I just went, oh! It's Salmon Ladder Falls always freak me out.
Right.
And so it's just like, from that distance, it's like, oh god. I mean, I know they're in harnesses and stuff, but it's still scary to look at.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine people that were there live going like, this is some scary crap. So.
Alright. Next up, speaking of scary, how about a super giant mega warped wall?
This was a weird one.
Next up was the mega wall.
Yeah. It was interesting how it was... I don't know how to explain it. It just looked different to me this year than it did last year. I don't know why. Because they had it last year, right?
Yes.
It just seemed different to me. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Was this one the one that was fast forwarded last year?
No. No, only the jump hang was fast forwarded last year.
I thought this one was as well.
No, this was the final competition last year.
Okay, for some reason, I don't know. It just seemed different to me this year, so I don't know why.
Alright.
So go ahead.
Well then, so for the mega wall, we had 5 competitors this time.
Woo!
Yeah. So they added
They're
one.
Splurging.
Yeah. So it was Joe Morosky versus John Alexis Jr. versus Jesse Lebrecht versus Najee Richardson versus defending champion Flip Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the clip of Najee during the regional finals with how much higher he got above the warped wall?
Actually, no. Because I kind of skipped through some of that. I'll go back and look for it.
Yeah, he jumped so high, he got his entire arms above the warped wall top.
Yeah.
When
I've seen Tata do that.
when I first saw that, I was like, whoa. So they started at 17 feet, which is already taller than the normal warped wall in ANW.
Mm-hmm.
By like 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
Then they went to 18 feet, where Jesse was eliminated, if these results are correct. Then they went to 18.5 feet. Then they went to 19 feet, in which everyone who was not John Alexis Jr. failed.
Yeah.
And so the Giant won the Mega Wall competition.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him.
Yay! Yeah, I don't know why. It just seemed different this year. I don't know how to explain it. I kind of find this one a little on the boring side.
I like it personally.
Yeah, I mean
I don't like it as much as the other ones, but I like it.
Yeah, like for example, we'll talk about later, which ones to amend, keep, whatever for future. Because I think that's actually one of the questions. But still, I kind of like flipped through some of this. And so that was one of the ones that I didn't watch the whole thing of.
Okay. Bit of a spoiler. I watched the whole thing and I really enjoyed all of it.
Cool. Yeah, I like this year's better than last year's. Mm-hmm. And I mean, last year's was the first time they ever had it. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. That's one I will sit and watch, not having seen a single minute of the whole broadcast of the regular season. It's just stupid obstacles. I love that.
Yeah, it's great. The grand finale of the ANW All Star Special was the Supersonic Shelf Grab.
Yeah,
and
I watched the whole thing of that one.
This was between Brett Sims, Megan Martin, Najee Richardson, and defending champion Drew Dressel.
Mm-hmm.
So they started with 9 feet. Megan unfortunately slipped, so she was out right away.
Yeah.
Then they decided to jack it up to 11, where Brett failed. Then they decided to jack it up to 14 because they weren't playing around. They just said, forget it. We'll just go right to 14. Both Najee and Drew cleared, and because the safety pool was now bigger this year,
Yes, I remember that.
They could go to 15 feet.
Yeah.
And Naji proceeded to scare me deeply.
Yes.
Because his first wipeout, he spun out so hard.
Yeah.
I was legit worried for him. But he's okay. He was okay.
That was a Beastmaster fall.
Yeah. And then Drew attempted it, but he also failed.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decided, you know what? We don't want this to end in a tie. So we're going to give both of them one more chance.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a winner, then there's a winner. Naji failed again. Fortunately, it didn't look as bad the second time around.
Yeah.
And then, as Akbar declared, I believe, Drew decided to go Super Saiyan. And he cleared 15 feet as the sun was rising over the Vegas Strip.
Yeah. That was actually pretty cool. I'm glad that they didn't Photoshop that out.
Yeah. So here's the amazing thing. When you go back and look at how high Drew's body is when he lands on the rail.
Yeah.
He has to stop his momentum because he has to launch himself.
Mm-hmm.
And his legs are practically vertical behind the shelf that he's holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that he held on.
Yep.
But for the second year in a row, Drew is the champion of the Supersonic Shelf Grab, and this time he doesn't have to share the medal with anyone.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Yep. So, and that's how the ANW All Star Special ended.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so overall, I really liked it. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of the team competition, but yeah. I think all the skill stuff was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like the direction that they're also going with that. Obviously, I like that they're taking chances by trying different things. Some can use some tweaking, but in general, that's what skills competitions do anyway, so I don't expect the exact same things to be there the following year. Which would be actually just in a couple months. Because this year's going pretty fast.
Alright. So, we're gonna go into a couple of ANW All-Star related viewer questions.
Yeah, the first one that I actually had put on there, somebody had mentioned it earlier. Bailey's story. He said what team, Akbar, Christine had the best in winning. Matt Akbar and Christine had the best chance in winning All-Stars. I wasn't sure at that point what the format was going to be. So I was just, I had told her, wait to ask another question. But it was interesting. Going into it, because I had zero spoilers going into it. I figured, you remember how you were saying, is like, you'd be surprised. It was like, you figured that, if Jesse's going to be in one, if Drew was going to be in another one. In my brain, was thinking, because I didn't know who was on the teams, it was like, whichever's the team that Drew's on. And that's how I had it. But then when Drew wasn't on there, it was like, I have no idea who's going to win. Seriously, I have no idea going in.
I had no doubt that Christine's team was going to win.
Why, because of Jesse?
Because of Jesse and Flip.
Yeah.
And because I know Nicholas Coolidge is a strong competitor also.
Yeah, they're consistent.
They are consistently strong, so they were my pick. I just looked at them like, yeah, it's probably going to be them.
Yeah. Again, I had no idea who they were going to... I didn't see who was going to be on each team beforehand. Right. So going in blind, I'm like, I had no idea, because I just kept thinking whichever's the one that Drew's in, and Drew wasn't in it, so...
There you go.
Was he in last year's?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, just, again, mental blur. I just like, then flipped, fast forward.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. I'm pretty sure the answer is no.
Okay. Do we grab the next one?
Yeah, sure. So this is from Fluffy Head Orca. Controversial, but do you think a adjustment for height cleared on Mega Wall should be done when someone is much taller? This is reference to the fact that a person whose nickname is The Giant won the Mega Wall. That'd be John Alexis Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I say no.
No.
Because that complicates things. Like, first off, from a TV standpoint, like, you want to keep things simple.
Yeah.
That makes things way too complicated.
Yeah. Besides, height by itself will not make you pass it. You still have to have good technique.
Yes.
And I've seen really short people clear stuff that, oh my god, you know what I mean? Because they had their solid technique. Now, granted, they have less room for failure. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is like they have a smaller margin. Actually, yeah, smaller margin of error.
Right.
So they have to be spot on. But that's kind of the point with the warp wall, and the reason why it's a big deal when somebody shorter passes it. But I've seen taller people totally still fail that anyway because their form sucks.
Okay. From the forums, Chaos Knight 326. What other supersize obstacles would you like to see in future All Star Specials?
That's your question, because obstacles I just go.
Okay. So here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So how about an obstacle where there's a large amount of weight, and they have to tackle it and see who can push it the fastest? And this is like an abnormally large amount of weight, like even more than you would see on a normal obstacle course.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one thing, we don't have like a pure strength.
Like what used to be in Sportsman?
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, if you want me, I can start pulling stuff from Sportsman if you want. But yeah, that always sounds cool. I think the reason why I don't want it to be too crazy, because I feel bad for the competitors that are there on like their 5th day. Yeah. At that point, they're so freaking tired, you're gonna get them hurt. And I don't want them to get hurt. That's why I want the schedule trimmed a bit so they're not dead by the 5th day.
Right.
So with something like that is just pure strength, unless that's the last thing that they're doing, they're not gonna have anything left in the tank for any other obstacles and stuff.
Right. Lightning Matt asks, do you like the additions to the skills comps? Why or why not? So do you like the new ones?
I love the new pegboard, the Thunderbolt. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. It was like Thunderboard. No.
Thunderdome.
Thunderbird. I like the fact that they had a pegboard. I don't like that it wasn't really shown that much. The striding step was okay. I'm not like offended by it, but I wouldn't be upset if it wasn't there again. I just don't think it had the attention grabbing, or if they added more people. I don't know. Something about it, like, it's okay, or it could use some tweaking. So, but I wasn't upset by it, like, because it replaced the jump hang, and I thought that was boring last year.
Yeah, jump hang is the only one from last year that didn't make it back.
Yeah, I don't know why, and I know that there's a different variation of that came back this year, but it I don't know. So I'm not upset that with what they did this year. In fact, the obstacles look better, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It just looked, the whole overall was a lot better. So I don't have anything like, oh my god, this was terrible. If I were to take any of them out, would be the striding steps at this point. And the wall, I think the wall too.
I love all the additions.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the big air grab. The Thunderbolt is a nice change on the pegboard style.
Yeah.
The endless invisible ladder was really fun. It's a cool idea. The biggest change I would add is just like more people, especially the endless ladder. I feel like I'd be cool with like an 8-person tournament.
Yeah.
But the last one is striding steps. I really like the striding steps.
Yeah.
What I would do, so here's what you do. you take that line of pegs and you double it, but like you put it, you have 2 tracks.
Oh, okay. So they're not coming back to the same one that they went forward?
Yes. So what you do is, instead of grabbing a rope where you just turn around and grab the same track, go on the same track, what you do is you grab the rope and you swing in a semicircle and get on the second track and run that one back.
Any particular reason why?
Because I like it.
Okay. Well, fair enough. You're being honest. I think it will still have the same effect.
The only problem I have with the striding steps, I think the whole turn around thing just seemed kind of silly. So
I see.
So if it's the idea, if they're like running in a circle instead of running in 2 straight lines, I just
in
think
which case it would be the sonic curve, is it? No. Yes, the sonic curve is the you see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I see, but it'd be better than the sonic curve.
Well, yeah, okay.
In my opinion.
It just, like I said, if it comes back next year, I'm not gonna be upset about it. I just think that was the eh. If you were to get rid of one, it's like eh. And I know they're not gonna get rid of the wall, so I don't even care about that one.
All right. Well, moving on. TCM asked 2 questions. One that you missed when you made this list, because he added it later.
Thank you.
Kid. I joke. So first, he asks, would you like to see a form of the endless invisible ladder as a future final stage, whether on its own or in conjunction with a different obstacle? Yes.
Yeah, in fact, you talked about it just a few minutes ago because
Yes.
we didn't read the questions beforehand.
No. Also,
I just cut and paste by accident.
Yeah. Also, he added, what Sportsman/Sports Danshi style events would you like seeing ANW competitors try out?
God, do we have an hour?
So,
Sportsman was from 20 years, and Danshi is 4? 5?
Yeah, something like that. My answer would be the one that Paul Anthony Tarek won. Just use that one.
What?
All those events.
Oh, from that tournament. Oh, yeah, that was 2007.
I don't.
6.
Yeah, something like that.
6, I think.
Yeah. So I want them to do the tug of war one with the harnesses. I want them to do the beach flags.
Yeah,
I want them to do the fitness race. I want them to do the.
You just won Sportsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sportsman rocks. Just
I know, Sportsman's great.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but here's the thing. That year they had the one where they have to press the numbers in order.
Yeah.
That would throw everyone for a loop, so they should definitely do that one also.
Yeah, that's sort of like a Viking thing that was taken.
Yeah, but they should do it.
Yeah, because it's like, wait, math?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Just do all Sportsmen. Like I would
R.I.P.
not be
Sportsman.
I would not be against NBC licensing to do like an American version of Sportsman or something like that.
Provided they don't change the rules, I could care less what they come up with.
Yeah, you know, like,
they'd have a really difficult time though, because I think that's still owned by Higuchi, which is why they had to redo a different version in Danshi, because they couldn't revive the old Sportsman. I love Sportsman.
Okay.
If anybody's ever noticed. Oh God, what would we put in ANW that would fit? I don't know, because a lot of the things that I really, really love about Sportsman are
Box.
things like Monster Box would be an interesting skills challenge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's number 1 on the list.
Wow.
Above everything else,
I didn't
it should
even
be.
think about that. Would be great as a skills challenge.
Yeah.
They don't have anything like that.
No, it's been a while since they've used springboards on ANW.
Yeah, which work quite differently than trampolines.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that.
All right. So that's American Ninja Warrior All Stars.
Yeah. Overall, a lot of fun. We already, beat a dead horse with the things we would change, but overall, the second season was much better than the first season. So,
Yeah.
and even then, I loved the first season, and I watched that in full as well. So it's just like, yay! Cool.
Completely agreed. Now, speaking of second season,
Oh, God.
as announced in Esquire magazine, Team Ninja Warrior Season 2 starts March 7th.
Yeah, I can't believe how jam-packed this past couple of months have been. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Pretty good.
So yeah, I think we already did like a small preview of that, so we'll talk about that in the next month.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. So yay, that actually is going to be the swan song of Esquire as we know it. We still up to this point have no idea what the new version is going to look like. But that's the last thing that's going to be on television for the two regions that actually still have it, meaning you and me. It's like this little corner in the northeast of the United States are going to be the only people that can actually watch it. And I don't have cable, so it's just going to be you.
Hooray!
So, cool. Yeah, but we're looking forward to that. And provided I can get a copy of it, we'll review it. So, I'd like to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah, should be fun. I believe there's going to be more episodes and more teams this year, so look forward to it.
Okay. Yep.
And if I'm wrong, then blame my sources.
Don't worry about it. Most people are just hoping to be able to see it, and that's the bigger problem. So,
hey, you know what show you can watch right now?
Which one?
That would be Ultimate Beastmaster.
Oh, yeah. Fair warning, I've only seen the first 4 episodes.
Fair warning, I've only seen the first 4 episodes.
Yes! So I'm not going to screw something up. So, yeah, so for anybody that's noticing, last Friday, which is the 24th?
Yes.
24th of February, all 10 episodes of the inaugural the first season of Ultimate Beastmaster hit Netflix to much fanfare. Thank God. So, it's out in certain regions, like it's out worldwide, period. And it came out like literally, it was funny because Yubei was complaining, going like, it came out the 24th in the US, so I have to wait another day. So it came out at like 3 o'clock in the morning, Pacific. So, you know, we didn't get until like 6 o'clock in the morning, but it was just the idea of everybody got it all at once. In the US, you get, there's 2 separate listings, so you'll get the American version with the American, there are 6 countries, yes, and each country has 2 commentators, so we get the American ones, and then there's a separate listing, and I haven't seen it yet. Like, I haven't gone through it. Oh, you have?
Oh,
okay.
sorry. No, I haven't watched it, but I've seen the listing.
Yeah, I saw the listing of the Mexican version, so I won't need the subtitles because I understand Spanish. That's my first language.
I will need the subtitles.
Yeah, so
I will need the subtitles because
really
I know
happy,
nothing.
Though. I'm really happy that they have that because I thought it was just going to be straight up in Spanish, and then somebody said, "Oh, it has subtitles." I'm like, "Yes, this is great." And then on one of the Reddits, Brazil gets the Brazilian version and the US. UK has confirmed that it has the American version. I think that's the only one that they have.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and then Japan gets, I thought it was just the Japanese, and they once I mentioned there was a separate listing because they thought it was all they had to do was flip the audio track. No, it's a completely separate listing, and then they went to like search for it, and it actually did come up. They have the American version as well. So it seems that the American version is universal, and then whatever is in that general region, you'll get whatever other region is in that area.
Right. Okay.
So I was a little surprised. Sorry, I was a little surprised that UK didn't get Germany because of how close it was.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but it isn't up to this point that I know of.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I guess, I mean, they essentially made 6 versions of the same show.
Yeah.
With different footage of the commentators and competitor profiles.
I would assume that they also got different focus, because that was like at least they got like a general idea. It's sort of like when you're watching the Olympics of your own country.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the things that watching the show that they do in the beginning is like, here are your 2 American competitors in Beastmaster, and they do an extended profile on those 2 people. Yeah. I imagine if you were to watch the Mexican version, they'd be like, here's the 2 Mexican competitors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for those of you wondering where Nakayama and Urashihara are, Kinnikuh Nakayama appears in episode 2. Mm-hmm. And Yuji Urashihara appears in episode 4. Mm-hmm. I figured that out before watching any of the episodes, because episode 4 is titled The Legend versus the Beast. So I knew right away who they're referring to.
Yeah. And then almost everybody were like, wait, Kinnikuh's there. I had to get is Shoji the new name, or is that his real name? I don't even know what his real first name. That is his real name.
That's his real name.
I'm just so not used to, like, who the hell is Shoji? I had this thing, who the hell is James McGrath moment.
Well, his real name isn't Kinnikuh.
I know it's not Kinnikuh, but it was just like, who the hell is Shoji? Does he have a first name? It was just so
it's just yeah, but when
Shoji, it's just like Shoji. It's like just doesn't fit. It's like,
dude,
Bob.
I was so happy when he appeared on screen. I was like,
yes. It was funny
so
with
happy.
the top the top knot that they went looking for. Okay, I have to say something right off the bat.
Yeah.
Did you like the American announcers?
I'm fine with them.
I didn't. I didn't. They got better. Like, definitely got better from the first one. Oh god, I had a problem. And it was funny because there's 2 separate threads on SMF. One is just like a general one for people that are like curious, and that followed from its inception of how it started, how we even knew about it. And then there's a separate one with just spoilers. And I haven't opened that one because there's 10 episodes and I've only gotten through the first 4. Right. So at least everybody's going through the same thing, going like, all right, out of the 6 announcers, which one did you like? And then everybody hates the American version. It's just like, and now I watched it.
How can you hate on Terry Crews? Terry Crews is like, I like him.
Don and I don't like Carissa, whatever her name is.
Carissa Thompson.
No. Whoever, no, I don't know who she is. I don't care who she is. I wanted her muted.
She's from Fox Sports.
I wanted her muted so bad.
She was fine.
I got so close to hitting the mute button. Now, this was the only time, and I hadn't even done it with the Sasuke with Don. Don is like, okay, are we watching? Like, okay. And because we were gonna do it over the weekend, and then like Friday, he's like, "It's on, right?" Like he gets home from work, and he's like, "Okay, we'll just get dinner. We'll just sit and watch." I'm like, "Wow, he's actually interested in this." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yuji's not in the first episode." No, I just want to see it, and he loved it. Oh my god, he loved it. And he's like, "This is what ANW is missing." And I said, "Interesting." He goes, "I can do without the announcers," and he spent the entire time, because I was so tempted to do like a. Like at least for like the first episode, or at least like a highlights of, you know how people do like watching, whatever. I was just gonna have a small thing. Oh my god, do we trash talk? I think I would have gotten more hate mail if I said any of that. Because I'm sitting there going, shut up. It's just like, I was so frustrated.
I was totally fine. I don't understand where this is coming from.
Well, then again, you also are not upset about Matt and Akbar, and I am.
I think she's better than Akbar and Matt.
Yeah, but I actually kept this unmuted, and I mute Matt and Akbar, so that's at least we're agreement with the ranking.
No, I don't get it.
I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all.
Well,
no, what I find hilarious that we're different is that we didn't like the Korean ones. We thought it was a little too overblown.
No, they're the best.
That's what everybody said, and then Don and I are sitting there going, oh, they got actors, didn't they? It's like, this is...
I believe so, yeah.
Now, what I do find funny is it says the Koreans were hilarious because whenever somebody passed, especially one of theirs, they lose their minds and they just go completely. Heck, they started doing like little choreographed dances and whatever. But when one of theirs failed, Don started doing like sort of like an MST3K commentary, going, "You have brought shame to this country. Get out." Because that's exactly, they had like on and off and nothing else. They were like, ah, and then all of a sudden one of theirs failed and went like silence and like, oh, it was so weird. So I think because they had such highs and lows, that the highs seemed a little too much. Overall, I saw it as fun. Hubby didn't like it that much. I can see why he was upset about it. After a while, he started warming up to it, going, okay, it's a shtick and they're keeping up with it. And then towards the end, they brought everybody else in that anyway, because everybody started going, wait, what are these guys doing? Okay, and then we'll all started doing it together. So then everybody was doing dances and stuff like that, because it didn't start off that way. So, yeah. If anything, I liked, at least because we've only seen the first 4 episodes, the evolution of how it started off, that everybody was in their own little boxes next to each other. And then after that, it was sort of like free-flowing, and they were paying attention to each other's commentary. Because I'm not sure if they actually orchestrated that or not, or it just kind of flowed, I guess, the phrases organically, even though I don't like that phrase. Yeah. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Naturally.
I really like how some of the commentators will interact with each other and
yes.
stuff. Especially, it seems like the Brazilians and Germans really go at it.
I still love what they were doing. Like in one of the episodes, the German guys were out, but there were a couple Brazilians in there. He goes, look at their last name. There's that guy. So they're, by default, they're one of ours, right? Yeah. And they're like, shut up. That's one of ours. I said, no, he's definitely German. Yep, he's one of ours. That's okay. You can have them, but yeah, he's one of ours. It's okay. I was just laughing.
No, it's really fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think. All right, so just a really quick. Okay, well, actually, a few quick things. So first off, Yuji was not the only obstacle course competitor in episode 4 that I recognized. I was looking at the South Korean competitors, and there was this one guy named Taeho Kwon. Mm-hmm. Who I kept looking, I'm like, where have I seen him before? I could have sworn, and then it hit me. So you remember the show that we talked about a while back called Let's Go Dream Team,
yep,
correct?
The one that you wanted to do an entire episode on.
Yeah, well, anyway, so Taeho Kwon was a regular on that show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's a celebrity in Japan.
Okay.
In South Korea.
South Korea,
he's a celebrity in South Korea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw, and he's a muscle idol, like they said on Beastmaster. So I didn't know I even wanted this, but I ended up getting a Sasuke versus Let's Go Dream Team matchup that I never thought I would get.
Yeah, I was interested.
So yeah, that was cool.
I was surprised with the variety of backgrounds of all these people.
Yeah,
because season 1 of anything is always interesting, because how did they find out about this? I mean, we didn't find out until it was just about to tape, so let alone it was at least when we found out, we saw it after they did the casting.
Yeah, and they had a wide variety. They had military people, Olympic athletes, rock climbers, ice climbers, a pole dancer, a pop idol from Japan, a wide variety of backgrounds and occupations.
And pretty much even in gender too. There was really no it wasn't even that I think the Americans had the either middle amount or the least amount of females. It was a little surprising.
I haven't seen the full list, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I saw
the
full list, and I have seen a lot of also their team pictures. I've seen a lot of their team pictures, so when I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, there's a considerable amount of women, like straight up on all of these. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting.
You know what I also like? Mm-hmm. I also like the fact that they never actually I want to make sure I word this correctly. They never bring up the fact that the women are women.
Yes. They're just the next
never
their next athlete on the list.
They're treated like the commentators treat them as actual equals to the men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without bringing attention to that.
Yeah, they never actually
Next
bring
up for
up
Team
the fact
USA is blah blah blah,
Yes.
whatever. Up next.
Yeah.
Oh, format. Oh, I have to tell you about one thing that I like about the format, and that we're gonna go through more next month, but just general impressions. I loved how they edited this damn show, because the first episode, it was obviously introduction heavy. Here's what the obstacles look like. This is what blah 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 blah. Let me describe how big this thing is. This is where it comes from. This is how we score things and whatever. Second episode, I remember Terry going, if you want to know anything, just watch the first episode. Okay, next up. It was like, wait, what? Like, instantly, first person. I think it was like within the first minute. I was like, wait, we didn't waste 15 minutes describing things? It just went straight. There was no filler. None. You had like a quick bam. Okay, this is where this guy comes from. Maybe you'll have like a 30-second to 45-second filler. The filler fluff piece, and then right into the action. I was shocked.
Well, I think that's Netflix just playing to their audience, because they know that. Because if you're binge watching, you don't want to.
All 10 episodes come out at once. You just kind of turn it on, pull up some pizza, and then off you go. And
exactly. You don't want to see the rules every single time. You know the rules. You're watching it all.
Yeah. I even thank David Broom, who's the producer, producer, director, and God knows everything else that goes with this.
The one who's not Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, yeah, the other guy that you probably don't recognize, but he's done a bunch of things. And so thank you for the editing, because he's like, thank you very much. He doesn't tweet that much at all, so I was actually quite surprised. Like, he doesn't really have a big following at all. I think maybe if he has like 3,000 or 4,000 people that follow him, and so I let him know, because I'm like, I went to college for this, and so stuff like that intrigued me. This was a very new format. Obviously, the name is terrible, and if anything, it fits because it's a Sylvester Stallone thing. And I'm like, it just sounds like something he'd come up with. You know what I mean? It's like just screams 80s. But
the name's grown on me.
Yeah, it was fine. I've learned to accept it over the last year, and so it doesn't bother me anymore. And at the same time, there is a beast.
You know what I really like? Mm-hmm. How many of the obstacles are based on like the inside of the beast.
This thing is huge. That's what was something. Actually, yeah, my husband's sitting there looking at it, going like, "Oh, that's big."
Yeah,
that's like, oh, and I think that's what caught his attention, because he was like, "Oh, okay." He said, "No, this isn't this." No, you're inside of it, and it's some of it's weird. And I know some of the Japanese Twitter people were going, "People get hurt in this thing." Like, yes, they do. It's not what I call ANW gratuitous. Like, you won't repeat 16, 17 different ways of how they smash their face.
No.
They just like, okay, that happened, and whatever, they shake it off and they go up, and that's it. And you don't see it ever again, other than now the person's taped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing, so just to give everyone just a very quick idea of how this show works. Every episode there are 12 competitors, 2 from each country. Mm-hmm. And there's 4 levels. Mm-hmm. The first 2 levels are the same format. You have a series of obstacles. Each obstacle is worth points, and also throughout the course are these switches called point thrusters that are the equivalent of clearing an obstacle. Mm-hmm. At the end of every round, whoever has the most points within a certain threshold moves on to the next round. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, in the first 3 levels, the points are cumulative. Mm-hmm. So even if you have enough to pass one level, you are encouraged to continue to get more points and make things more likely for you in the next level to move on. Level 3 is a little
style by top numbers.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, it goes from 12 to 8 to 5 to 2. Level 3 is a little bit different. Each obstacle is still worth points, but there is a point in which you can split. There's a split path. You could either choose the safe way, or you can choose the more difficult way, and to attempt to get more points at the risk of losing points as well.
Yeah, and that was something I went, ooh, that's interesting. I kind of like that.
Also, you can stop at any time if you go the bonus path.
Yes.
When you clear one of the obstacles,
especially because there's a penalty if you you've had situations as a general thing where somebody got really far, went through the bonus, lost the bonus, so it was only a net gain of 20 points.
Yeah.
When they could have had a net gain of like 80. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So it was just like, ooh, that hurt. That hurt hard.
Yep.
So the other thing with the scoring, unlike something like what people are familiar with, like USA versus World, this is more Sportsman. And Sportsman doesn't care what country you're from. You're just basically a name on the list. And the same thing happens here. So they'll go top numbers, period. It doesn't matter what country you're from. So you can have an entire country eliminated on the first round.
You could.
And which has happened. And I like that. It was an international competition, and yes, there were 2 from each country on each episode, but that didn't matter. And I was like, oh, so you can have, an all-American final, an all-South Korean, an all-Japan. It didn't matter. However, and it didn't matter gender, it didn't have age, nothing. It was, did you get enough points? You go on to the next round. Do you get enough points? And that's how it goes. And so at the end of each episode, they crown a Beastmaster, and they win $10,000 US.
Yep.
And then we haven't gotten this far yet, but after they get, I think it was 8 of them? 9. Okay. Yeah, because 9. It has the cute little graphic. Yeah, so 9. After that, then they go to basically like a grand final, and then whoever wins that gets $50,000.
And there's the ultimate Beastmaster.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's also worth mentioning that for level 4, the final level, the final 2 competitors go head to head in a tower climb, where they have to hit buttons along the way. Whoever scores the most amount of points is crowned the Beastmaster.
And you can technically fall off this thing.
Yes, you can, and you lose time. You don't really go that far down.
Because you still have to, because it's a point-based thing rather than distance. Now, of course, if you're tied at points and you're within whatever, I would assume they go whoever's the furthest.
Yeah, whoever's the furthest if the points is tied.
Yeah, because that actually happened on one of them. So
yeah. So the only other thing I want to mention is that when you're watching the show, keep in mind that the order that they're shown is not necessarily the order that someone runs,
which has happened in every obstacle course show we have seen.
Yeah.
Even so Sasuke does that now, which is annoying. But yeah, that happens sometimes.
But just keep that in mind if someone makes a decision that might not seem logical to you, it might be because they didn't run as late as the show shows them doing.
Yeah,
so just keep that in mind.
I've always had questions about that because, like, for example, the thing with the point thrusters that you're talking about, those are optional. So it's and more importantly, they're not on your set path. You have to kind of go out of your way to get to them. And there's always a risk involved where, like, even it's like if you're trying to get to this one buzzer and it's like below, above you, whatever to decide, and there's a lot of balance stuff. You're like 30-40 feet in the air, and then so if you want to get off of this rickety obstacle, just go straight, ignore it, and sometimes it's 10-20 points. But when everybody's similarly doing the same thing, Especially if you're like on the first or you won't know. So you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to Safe Pass to just grab as many points as I can, but not put myself at risk. And then you follow later that the other ones just about broke their neck to get to these points. They're now almost tired, or they can even get eliminated. So it's interesting. So I figured that some of them might be flipped. I'm sort of kind of used to that, so it doesn't faze me as much. But it now makes sense.
I received confirmation from a competitor who was on the show, so pretty reliable source, I would say.
That's cool. So yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of it. Though.
Last thing I want to mention that was really cool: the water is red.
Yes, because you fall in the blood.
the blood of the beast.
Oh, I do have one criticism.
What's that?
The canned audience.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a closed set. In fact, because it's the wipeout set, I immediately said, "Oh, I recognize that pool. I recognize that pool." But yeah, the added audience cheering when it's very obvious that there's no audience there.
It's weird.
It's very weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far we both highly recommend Beastmaster.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a full review next month.
Yay! Because by that point we would have seen the rest of the, let's see, 10. So 6 episodes we're missing?
6.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
Cool. Okay, next on our list, Kunoichi. Oh, wait. Yeah, because we're leaving the other questions until next month because there's going to be more. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, Kunoichi's next.
So, Kunoichi 9. That happened.
Yeah, in fact, that was the first on the list by comparison. Because all the other ones were like, the Beastmaster was like 3 days ago. All Stars was like 5 days ago. And now this one seems ancient. Like, oh wait, did we? No, we didn't cover it. That aired on Sunday, February 12th.
Yeah.
And, I liked it. I was very surprised because you and I were going, please don't let it be 8. Please don't let it be 8. Please don't let it be 8. And we were at least encouraged by the photos that we saw, and we seemed to. I like this show.
Dude, this was hands down the best Kunoichi.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, okay, good. We're both in agreement. I think this is the best Kunoichi ever made.
Yeah, they did a good job.
So if they want to be encouraged on anything, this is the direction that you should take this show. So, there were a couple. In the past, Kunoichi was first of all, it's a spin-off of Sasuke. Kunoichi's like female ninja or something to that effect.
Kunoichi is a female ninja.
Yeah, it's a royal pain trying to do any searches because you run into so much porn. So I'm like, what is this supposed to be? Like, okay, wow. So I had a hard time trying to get like actual Kunoichi 2017.
Kunoichi.
On Twitter was, oh my.
Oh yeah, Twitter. I remember I did the same thing. I looked up the hashtag Kunoichi and I immediately came across pornography of Mai from the King of Fighters with Chun-Li.
Yeah, that was
which, I wasn't against that, but it's not what I was looking for.
Yeah, let's just say it was a bit difficult to I guess it's sort of payback because whenever we did anything on Sasuke, we have to go through 17,000 Naruto tweets to get to the thing that we want.
Yeah, so there's no winning because one is the same name of a popular Naruto character.
Yeah, current.
And the other is a type of character that's used in many forms of Japanese fiction.
Yes.
The Kunoichi is very commonly used in both video games and anime.
Yep.
So it's very hard. Very hard to find info, and because like I'm looking right now, I'm seeing like the images on Google for Kunoichi is very diverse.
Yes.
No one's naked yet, so I gotta keep looking.
Don't get distracted.
Too late. So,
Close it down or fold it for later. What you do in your own private time is your own thing. So.
anyway.
But either way, so Kunoichi basically almost went back to its roots. It is now a 3-stage course. It is the first time that it's indoors. So one positive thing, it is not the same size as Sasuke 1, because Sasuke 1, it was tiny. I liked how the course was was placed, and there was plenty of space to move around, so no one was smashing into the next obstacle entrance like it was with Sasuke 1. So, but I liked it. I liked the color scheme. I liked the different additions, and the length of the show wasn't too bad. And I guess probably also because there were only 50 competitors anyway, there was a good portion that were shown. Not a lot of cuts were out. Yeah.
Almost everyone was shown in some form.
In some form, yeah, which is, again, unusual. But more importantly, I liked the raise in difficulty without going stupid. Is it as hard as even Sasuke? No, but it's heading in that direction, and I like it. Because you have to remember, this show used to have a lot of celebrities, and, you know, from porn stars to pop idols and everyone in between. And the occasional random foreigner from all walks of life, not just Olympians or anything like that. It was a sort of like a gag show, and then you had, similar to Sasuke, there were a lot more of like the wild cards. This was very heavy wild card in the beginning, and then you'd have like maybe 5 people that were expected to contest into the 3rd and 4th stages. This one had almost the same setup, but they started putting a lot more different difficult obstacles in there that I'm going, ooh, okay, that's a nice raise. So at least people that haven't seen this show in almost 10 years, it hasn't been that long, but it's just like it's been a long time since people have actually have seen it. Actually, oh my god, yeah, it is almost, well, it's 8 years, 7 years, 8. What was it? 2009 was the last one?
Yeah.
Well, you only acknowledged 2007.
No.
Okay,
no,
so
see, I'm allowed to acknowledge it now.
Okay.
Because it's no longer the last one.
Okay, good. Well, from the last normal Kunoichi that we saw was the Kunoichi 7, which was in 2007. It is 10 years. And the Kunoichi 8 was in 2009, so that's 8 years.
And that was an embarrassment.
That's the tournament that shall not be named. So right off the bat, dude, that logo,
those on-screen graphics.
That was, did they wink?
Yeah, the logo winks on the screen behind the competitors.
Yes, it was so funny because I was like, wait, did that wink?
Yes.
Okay, that was actually, first of all, I love that logo. And yes, I'm still upset that there's no merchandise for this freaking show. I mean, come on. I'd totally buy that. I'd buy the hoodie, I'd buy t-shirts. Dude, come on, that's a freaking awesome logo. So, but yeah, I just, go ahead and like start setting this up because I'm like all over the place with this.
Okay. So, stage 1 featured 50 women taking on an obstacle course, like usual. First obstacle was the rolling hill. Second obstacle was the pipe hold. Which, you know, the gravure idols demonstrated their true form and reasoning behind that obstacle.
There were so many video tweets of this, it wasn't even funny.
I thought it was pretty funny.
No, the idea of the amount of, like,
No, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Basically, pipe hold was the spinning bridge, but they had to.
Yeah, you could not use your feet.
Yeah, you had to shimmy across.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, it was better to do it like in an upright position than a laying down position.
Yeah, it took all the way to like, what was it, 41, 42?
It took a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next up is one of my favorite obstacles of all time, the fishbone.
Yes.
The fishbone is amazing.
Yep.
I love this thing. It's just... It's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect the way it is.
For people... Actually, we have described that last month, so actually
yes.
It shouldn't be that bad. Okay.
Yes, but what I love about the obstacle is that there is a path. There's at least one path. There's two. There's at least two good paths to get through. I don't know.
Well, it's like the striding steps, just not so far apart. They're little circular poles.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I mean is there's a clear path through.
Oh yeah.
Through the spinning part of it, but you have to. You know what it is? You know what I like about that obstacle the most? And it's a quality that you've talked about before, but it is a real test of your commitment.
Yes.
To the obstacle.
Oh God, yes.
If you cannot hesitate on this thing, there is a timing. There is a pathway through the spinning beams.
What is this thing in here? Who made this?
If you hesitate, you will go down because it was only a matter of time before a beam will come and hit you.
Yeah.
Because there is a set of swinging beams above every pillar and in between every pillar as well. So there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Nope. I loved it. I loved it.
And there were many great wipeouts on that obstacle as well. It was the MVP of the stage of the red zone.
Yeah, it's not the first stage, second stage, or third. It's
zone.
just it's the red zone. Next one,
red zone.
I thought that this would have been named differently.
It's the X Bridge, which is not the same X Bridge that you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Bungee.
Yeah, this is like the floating tiles from ANW.
Yeah, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like if it was before the fishbone, it probably would have took out some competitors, but no one failed it.
Yeah, well, at least the ones that passed the fishbone were perfectly fine in dealing with this. So
yeah.
And
next up was the jump hang.
Yeah, was happy that was there.
There were some good wipeouts on that. I like that.
With the cleanest pool you will ever see.
Yeah, very, very clean. The jump hang was really good. It was actually, it's pretty big. They spent quite a few, a lot of people spent quite a bit getting underneath it.
Yeah.
And then is the warped wall.
They called it slant wall.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the reason why is that because this is Sasuke women height, it's not the full wall that most people, like even in ANW, would consider. So instead of calling it a straight up warp wall, there's like, okay, it's a slant wall. But to have a wall of any type in Kunoichi is revolutionary. Like, I am positive that when these little pop idols and whatever came in there, they went, "You have what in the first stage?"
Yeah.
Because they can realistically get there. And they're going to have to figure out a way to go up that wall. They've never had to do it before. So, the only ones that have even gotten to the walls before... one other Japanese woman, and she cleared it. Oh, two. So it's a 1 for 2. It was the same tournament, actually. But just the idea is so rare for women to get there in Sasuke that we haven't had the opportunity to kind of train up the Japanese women to do this. Now they'll go, okay, that's there now. So the next generation can train the wall. Because it was never part of Kunoichi before. So I was really excited to see even a baby version of this. And yes, the American women would have wrecked this thing. It might as well have been flat because that's how fast they would have gone through this thing. But it was. I'm still happy with it.
And then the final obstacle, which is an obstacle I actually really like.
Yeah.
Is the cannonball, which is this big weighted ball that they have to push up a ramp, and when they get it to the top, they are allowed to hit the button. Now, there's this show, you might have heard me talk about it before, called American Gladiators. And this obstacle was in American Gladiators at one point.
I had to keep my mouth shut. I did everything possible, but that's what I was saying last month. Like, there's other stuff. I can't talk about it because they did not photograph this thing. Like, at all. It was none of the photos. And I'm like, oh god, William's gonna lose his mind. It was described to me going, I just kept hearing William going, glorious, in my head.
So yeah, American Gladiators. Hey, you know what? They should just put this in America. It was called the Cannonball at Kunoichi.
No. In American Gladiators.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I thought you would have had
early
that
American.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, it was early American.
Okay.
I think they just called it the giant medicine balls.
Okay. This looks like a big beach ball with like, it's not they're like little beads. It's heavy.
It's heavy. I think so. Here's the thing. It looks lighter than it is.
Yeah, it is actually quite heavy.
Yeah, but the thing is with this beads, and one thing that I actually like about it is how it distributes the weight.
Yeah, it's completely uniform.
It's not only is it ununiform, but it's against you.
Mm-hmm.
It's most of the weight is closest to you, which makes it harder. It goes against you, and it's moving all around. Mm-hmm. If the ball was opaque, it would actually make it look heavier, just because you couldn't see through it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was tough. You can tell it was tough.
I was so happy Mika was the first one to touch it.
Yeah. Overall, the women had 140 seconds to try to clear the red zone. Red stage, I should say. And we had a long string of failures.
Yeah, considering it was like, what, 3/4 of the entire tournament? I'm sure that we're going, oh crap. We probably made this a little too hard. Because I remember hearing the timer. Like, over 2 minutes? And then they're like, don't worry about it. Like, okay. It's just...
Yeah, we have this obstacle called the fishbone.
Yeah, and that just laid waste. Might as well at least talk about, some like notable fails and stuff like that from this.
The jump hang took a lot of time out of people's runs also.
Well, yeah, because they were terrified of it.
Yeah,
they could not go over it. That was also one of the other rules.
Honestly, I don't think it would have been a good idea to go over it because it was so big.
Well, between that and they're also women in general, as a general statement, especially the Japanese women, have not shown over years that they're extremely strong to pull their entire body over. And right. If you remember how some of the All-Stars used to just do it, and then they would get themselves stuck at the bottom, and they spend like 15 seconds just unwinding their feet. I think that's also one of the other reasons why they got it, because so much can go wrong when you're rolling yourself over, or even trying to go over the bar. So yeah, height has something to do with it, but I just think it's better to just the way they have it, just going underneath. It is scarier. It's more stable for the women though to go underneath. I don't think this is as big as the original one. Because they got to the platform fairly fast. Once they got underneath it, like they weren't like their legs weren't trying to reach too far. Like they touched it and then they got out from underneath it. It just seemed a little bit just different where the landing plate was. I'm still happy that it was there. So they're training up to the next level of difficulty, and if this is the direction they're going, I'm all for this. So
Okay.
yeah, same trampoline though.
Yes. So, we saw quite a few wipeouts on the rolling hill. I think
Yeah.
we saw like 2 people fail.
Did you notice that rolling anywhere as fast as Sasuke, or is it just an optical illusion?
I felt like it was the same.
Okay. It just seemed like some that they barely moved, and then other ones just not.
I didn't notice any difference.
We did notice that there were more fails in the back than in the front.
Which is weird because the jumping distance in the back is a lot shorter.
Or
probably
they thought because it's shorter, they were trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah, there were quite a few people, who just sort of like lost their footing and then slid all the way down.
Yeah, that was painful for that one that I'm thinking of, where it's like, no, it's like right underneath.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, again, I would have loved to have seen the reaction of, oh god, like that's the first obstacle. Well, okay, my day's gonna be pretty short.
Yeah.
So, but Boob Cam. Yeah, Boob Cam.
Yeah.
Whoever was the one that won the lottery to be the cameraman for for the back end of that.
Best job.
Best job ever. I showed Don and he goes, I don't see a problem with that. And I'm like,
yeah,
of course you wouldn't. I just kept calling everybody dirty old men.
What's the big deal?
I kept getting reports from this as sort of like the set was just so happy, and of course there's you have like the monitors and everybody's seeing it, and then you had like everybody, like the crew just watching, and there were a lot of them that took a long time. There was in fact one of the videos in Twitter was she was one of the more famous Gravore models. I don't remember what her name was. She was fairly early on. But let's just say everybody was looking forward to her run because her assets that's what she's there for. I mean, that's how she makes a living.
Was she number 2?
Was she number 2?
I'm looking at the list of like where the Gravore idols fall. So the earliest one was number 2.
I think it was a little bit further. Maybe under 10, but I don't think 2.
Well, she's the only one under 10.
Okay, then don't worry about it. It probably was number 2, and I'm just I have not seen it since the live, and I saw a couple clips afterwards. Right. But in general, it was something that when it came up on Twitter, it was a full video, and it was for the full length. I think is you can only put like 1:20 on a free account. And then like like NBC and stuff, they can put like freaking 5-minute videos if they want to, and they have done that. But for a regular account, I think it's 1:20 is the most that you can put. And it took her that long to go across, and it's just the camera was like right zoomed onto their chest, because it was what 90% of the women, that's how they did it. And so it was just, and of course she's wearing a bikini, so yeah. Well, not a bikini, she had other pants on, but bra top. And so yeah, that was
a sports bra. A lot of them were wearing sports tops.
Yeah, hers was less sporty than normal. Like I said, she knows why she's there. So I'm not gonna argue. That's kind of her profession. So that's what pays the bills, folks. Let's just say everyone loved it. I did notice that the Twitter chatter started going up. They were like, oh, wait, there's boobs on TV? And so everybody wanted to turn on to see boobs on TV. So there you go. And this is probably why that obstacle was the second on there, because you would have so many of them. Now, find
majority of the women were on that obstacle.
Yes, until my girl Mika Watanabe. Mika Izumi, whatever her last name is now. But oh god, that was That was hilarious because it was almost like, nope, I ain't let you see my boobs. She decided to straddle it and sit upright and just pull herself across as fast as possible. You can almost hear the production crew freak out because more women started doing it like her later. Now, granted, she was what, 41, 43? Where was Mika?
So she's. That sounds about right.
Yeah, so she's in the low 40s, and I was excited because she was worried that she was going to be completely out of shape because nobody expected this tournament to actually happen. And then all of a sudden, it's sort of like, okay, you got 3 weeks. Wait, what? That's exactly how quickly it was. It's like New Year's is like the worst time. You're going from, one party to another party, and then you're just eating the whole time. She's like, oh, I'm gonna be woefully out of shape. I'm like, oh. So it's like, don't expect much. So I wasn't expecting anything, and so I'm like, wait, how far did she go? She got so close to the end.
She was halfway up the cannonball.
That was the first time anybody saw the cannonball. And it was just like, yes, it was Mika. Mika's the first. So I was so excited for, it was so painful. She did great. She did absolutely great considering that she had no idea she was going to do this tournament, like, at all. I was so happy she didn't have a silly fall somewhere. Right. So it was just, representing one of the finalists. Yay, Mika! So I was so excited for her.
Also, for the record, just because you're in your 40s doesn't mean you can't be good looking.
Well, she's not 40 yet. She's in her 30s.
You said 40s.
No. Number... She's not... number in the...
Age.
Oh, age. She's in her 30s.
Okay, well, you said 40s, so...
Okay. I meant 40s as in... placement in the 50
she wasn't
field.
She wasn't that either.
What number was she?
39.
Okay, so I was close. It was still close to 40. That's why I was asking if you knew. No, she's
I'm
like
sorry,
37,
but like
38.
Okay, all right. Well,
she's still close.
Either way,
she's still smoking hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, is she married? Damn, that's what everybody kept saying. And they're like, wow, Mika's still doing great. That's what everybody kept talking. It was like, the worst part is that they didn't even know who she was. It was like, oh, damn, who's that hot chick? Like, you do not know who Mika is? Like, no, but I'd like to know her more. I'm like, oh, God, never mind. Have you heard of Kunoichi? Kuno what? Oh, never mind. It's been so many years. Oh, it was such a depressing thing to nobody knew who she was. But yeah.
Speaking of 40s, once they got to the 40s, there was this realization, hey, no one's passed yet?
Yeah, there's only 50 people.
Should we be worried? Should we be worried?
I'm positive the production crew was freaking out.
So, number 41 fails. And then we get to number 42. And finally, someone cleared.
And who was 42?
That would be Hikari Izumi.
Yeah.
I just want to say this right now. The music, when they clear, and the graphic that appears on screen when they clear.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Yes.
No, actually, no, I loved her run because she was really good.
Yeah. Well, she's parkour chick.
Yes, she is a parkour person. But what I really liked about it is that because we had gone so long without anyone clearing, there was this sense of excitement in the crowd and me when she got to the cannonball, and you see how much time is left, and you realize this is it.
Yeah.
We're getting it.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
Just go to the top. And she hits that button, and that giant graphic just appears on the screen that says clear. And the music is playing, and it's just perfect. It is perfect. I love it. Also, we forgot to mention, the retire graphic.
Yes!
I like that too.
Everybody got it. Whenever they failed, it just says retire.
Retire. It's, you know what it reminded me of? Reminded me of Doors.
Yeah. Well, the same
Whenever
director.
someone would fail, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, whenever someone would fail on Doors, it would be like out, and it would go like in the music.
Yeah.
And Doors has an amazing, clear theme with the
I think he had a better fun doing this because he was allowed to do anything he wanted, as opposed to Sasuke, you were stuck to that format.
Yeah.
So, because could you imagine that stuff in Sasuke?
I want that stuff.
The only time that we saw any kind of change was, what was it, 27 with that swipe?
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh yeah,
that was M9 though. So after that, all of a sudden everything changed. So
yeah.
Oh well.
So anyway, number 43, Hana Watanabe. I'm assuming that's right. Yes. Kana Watanabe, I should say. Google Translate. Wrong with me. Judo person. She cleared also. Next up, number 44. Chen Zhu. I believe Taiwanese stunt woman?
Yes.
Yes, she also cleared. So right then and there, 3 clears in a row. And then came number 45. Which is Ayano Oshima, who, as you know, is officially the first woman to clear the warped wall in Sasuke.
Yes.
And she cleared with a lot of time in this stage. Unsurprisingly, she was able to defeat the easier warped wall.
Yes. In fact, I found it quite fitting that the first 2 women to be credited to clear Sasuke's wall, one in qualifiers and the other one in the actual tournament, were both in there and passed it on this one.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was fitting.
So yeah, so all of a sudden, 4 in a row, right then and there.
Yeah.
And then we had a little break from people clearing, and I really liked number 48, Yuki Kawabata's run. She's a professional baseball player. And the thing is that 2 of her teammates had run earlier. And the entire team is in the stands cheering them on, including the mascot. And I don't know, I just really liked her run, and I think there was just this whole sense of like, because she cleared, but there was this whole sense of like, yes, we got one of the baseball players in, and like all her teammates are going nuts when she clears, and it's just, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yep.
I wish there was more interaction between like the people that were there cheering.
Right.
Not everybody had a chance to do that, so it seemed a little more cold, I guess. So it was nice seeing a warm reaction to something like that. It was interesting that they had all the competitors on their own set of bleachers, though.
Yeah.
So I thought that was at least interesting. So that was at least one way to get that interaction, as opposed to everybody running up and down the course.
Yeah. And then number 50, as we mentioned previously, was the returning Yuko Mizuno.
Yeah, and it's been 10 years since she actually had been in the show. So I was actually quite surprised that she was back.
Yeah.
I sadly
she was looking...
didn't expect much.
Unfortunately, she got taken out by the fishbone. So,
although that was a fitting place because so many met their doom there.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just it was a tough obstacle.
Yeah. So
in the end, we get 5 moving on to the blue stage.
Actually, I thought that was actually pretty good. Average, considering.
Yeah, I guess 7, so I wasn't too far off with my guess.
Yeah. I'm sure the production would happy. Oh god, we got 5. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, thank goodness. So, how how many people have asked this question? I want to see. So, okay, so both the Scottish Ninja and Universal Tuber have asked, do you think the blue stage should have been timed?
Yeah, the next stage, yeah.
Yeah. So the blue stage was kind of weird.
Yeah,
and admittedly, at this point, everything with the editing almost seemed like an afterthought.
Yes, it did.
We rushed through everything else kind of quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of like Sasuke 32's second stage was a blip, this one too.
So, the blue stage has no time limit, which is weird considering what some of the obstacles are.
Yeah.
So, first up was the slide walk, which is like these stilts that are on a cable that you slide down. You have to get over some stop gaps.
It was a weird obstacle.
It was a weird obstacle. It would have been better if there was a timer.
Yeah, but it was such a weird obstacle.
Yeah. Then was the spider walk.
Which was not bad. Again, I like that the addition is there.
Yeah. Straightforward spider walk. And then was the reverse conveyor. And this is where the lack of time limit seemed really weird. Because the reverse conveyor has always been associated with speed obstacles.
Now, this is the lowest I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This was the lowest.
This looked like an army crawl. Like the only thing missing was like barbed wire up at the top.
Yes, exactly. But that still doesn't change the fact that it's the reverse conveyors have always been on speed courses.
Tell you one thing though, this thing was moving.
Yeah, but still.
I know, but it was still moving. The one in Sasuke, I'm like, is this thing even moving at all? And it wasn't.
Well, that one was broken. This one was obviously working properly. But it's like you know, no one was in danger of being eliminated in that obstacle.
Yeah.
You need a timer.
Yeah,
and then was the slant edge.
They had something like that in early Sasuke, but not quite.
Hold on. Let me take over for this one. So, you might remember a while back I mentioned that we were, but before we stopped doing the retro reviews, I mentioned that we were approaching what my opinion was the worst obstacle of all time was.
Well, this is it.
So the worst obstacle of all time is the original ledge walk in Sasuke 6,
which was perfectly flat. So like a 90 degree.
Yeah, that obstacle is terrible. In fact, it is harder. The video game version of it is harder than the real thing. When I saw this obstacle, my immediate thought was, this is a much better version of it. I like this version. I think maybe next time they should make the angles steeper, because it's a 10 degree and 20 degree angle that you have to lean forward, and you got like a ledge that you can grab onto.
It is pretty freaky when you're actually doing it, though.
I still think you can go steeper.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm happy with the level increase. They didn't go too nuts. They can now start getting a little bit more fine tuned.
Yeah, because one of the things you got to remember, in general, just to the listener, that like they don't know the level of, I guess, competency of the competitors. Like, because for all intents and purposes, this is a reboot.
Yeah, it is a reboot.
It's technically it both is and isn't, but for all intents and purposes, it's a reboot. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to make it too hard, but you don't want to make it too easy, and it's a hard balance when you don't really know what type of competitors you're getting.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think it would have benefited if they had a timer at least for everything up to the obstacles that we had talked about.
Well, they've actually had stuff like that in Kunoichi.
Yeah, but I remember last time we talked about that, I said I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying it would have benefited.
For this particular, we weren't sure how this was all going to play out in the end. And then when you're looking at going, something's missing.
Yeah, because quite frankly, I think the big reason that the stage doesn't have a time limit is because of the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
which we'll get to in 1 second. But before the cliffhanger was Sponge Bridge.
Yeah, and it's not Domino Hill because there's not sections that are higher than the other.
No, it's one straight path. It's still tough, as we know. But yeah, it's a lot smaller than Domino Hill.
But we had what?
No means
3 of them? 4. 3 that failed here.
I don't know what your everyone but one.
Okay, yeah, so 4.
4.
One of them outright broke
4.
one of them.
Oh yeah, the last one, the baseball player landed on it. Yuki Kawabata fell.
They had what, 2 back-to-back fast forwards here? Yeah, the editing got a little weird on this stage. It's sort of all of a sudden it's like, yeah, these 2 kind of failed and it kind of sucks. And then they went just like next. I'm like, wait, what? Like I almost blinked and missed it. I'm like, okay, there's that editing I'm used to now. So, oh god. I remember the description on the cliffhanger online. And they're like, what is this? We haven't seen this since, like, 2000.
Even earlier than that.
Yeah, but, again, women don't do this in Japan.
Yeah. So this is a straight line cliffhanger with one gap. And it's a straight line gap. There's no vertical differential at any point. So yeah, it's just a standard cliffhanger. If you complete the gap, then you're pretty much you're done. Yeah. And then finally is what they're calling the Weber Bridge, which I don't know why they didn't just call it the Pendulum Bridge again, which was a perfectly fine name. It's the exact same obstacle, so what's the point of changing the name?
I don't know. They just want to sound cool.
What? I don't even know what Weber even means.
I don't know. I just work here. It's not gonna matter anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found it. See, I just looked up Weber, and they're giving me Weber grills.
Look, we have somebody that named their company Variante that means literally nothing. It's a made-up word. I guess it's sort of like Studio Ghibli, you know.
Let's see. The unit of magnetic flux causing the electromagnetic force of 1 volt in a circuit of 1 turn when generated or moved in 1 second. Which
looks like nothing of what we're staring at.
Yeah, so...
Oh, well. It's a bridge.
They just made it up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Pendulum Bridge. It's just the Pendulum Bridge. So yeah, like we said, no time limit. Probably due to the fact that the cliffhanger is in there.
No snow.
Yeah. So first up was number 42, Hikari Izumi. And she ended up clearing the whole thing.
Yeah. I figured once she got that far, it's like, yeah, and this, because there's no timer, you don't have to rush.
I was very surprised that the first one did it. And at that point, my immediate thought was, oh, they're all going to clear it, aren't they? And it turns out, nope. Because the Sponge Bridge was like, yeah, I'm not letting anyone else pass me.
Yeah.
Just to sum things up really quickly, everyone else failed the Sponge Bridge. Yep.
And that was just like fast forward and just sort of like, okay, we're going to get to the final now.
So, final stage. 1 person left.
Yep.
The parkour, let's say expert.
Parkour chick.
Parkour, yes. Hikari Izumi.
Yeah.
It's a variation of the Kunoichi 3 and 4 final.
Yeah.
Where you have the double ladder climb. You have to climb it in a spider climb style.
Yeah, so you're alternating up each side.
And then you have a rope climb, which is the first half is 8 meters, second half is 7 meters. So you have 35 seconds to reach the title.
I was right. Yes. It looked weird. I'm like, that doesn't look like a pole.
Yeah, it's a rope.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised because that is
first time. Yeah, first time ever.
Yeah, that's quite an increase in difficulty.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah. And how far she get up the rope? No.
She got about halfway up the
Yeah.
rope. Yeah, and she timed out. You know, a lot of people were commenting on her rope skills.
Mhm.
I think people really underestimated how much time it took her to get up the ladders.
Yes. Although her
'cause-
rope skills were terrible, and even by her own admission, she just never trained for rope. Now she knows that she has to train for rope. Because again,
Surprise, we have ropes now.
Exactly. They're like, they don't train for this. So if anything, it's sort of like, okay, this is now the new Kunoichi. This is what to expect. You train up to that, and just like everybody remembers. Like whenever it's funny listening to Rich and Bijan go backwards in time and go, what the heck was that with early ANC or even ANW 1. Like, they considered this difficult? Yes, it was difficult back then. So this is the dawn of a new age, and it's sort of like, ooh, there's warp walls, there's cliffhangers, and there's rope. Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hoping that people liked it, and more importantly, women that thought that the older one was a little bit too clicky, too eye candy-ish. It's now a legitimate event. So people that probably would have bypassed it will probably go, I can do this. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Obviously it can grow, but it's only up from here. So
yeah. I think I just want to let people understand that when it comes to the ladders, compared to the spider climb, there's pros and cons to it. The pros to the ladder is that you're not going to fall down because the ladder is very stable. Mm-hmm. The big challenge with the ladders, though, is that you have to step with your feet in very specific spots.
Yeah.
If you watched her run going up the ladder, several times she overextended her foot. And you can see her trying to step on a ladder rung that did not exist.
Yeah, she never got her timing down. She never got that rhythm. Yeah. Because if you saw someone like Yuko go up, because she had a ladder.
Yeah.
It was okay, and actually more importantly, the one that was crystal clean on that was Miyake, who ended up winning it. Just go and try to find one of it, I think it was her first win that she went up the ladder.
Yes.
And so because people are thinking you run up one side, no, you're like your arms are spread out, your legs are spread out, and you're coming up. Yeah, it looks like a spider. So it's just you just have to see it. So, but I liked it. I thought it was interesting. They had a lot of callbacks to old obstacles from both shows. And it was just, this was a good show. This was a really good show. I was very happy that that they did it, and they stuck to it. This show changed format 6 times on how it was going to be done, in what direction they were going, even the scoring. Scoring was, are they going to change the format? Are people going to, crucify them for changing the format too badly? Because they were almost going to do Sportsman on this.
Right.
And I can tell that second stage would have been fit for something like a Sportsman, where you had more people going through it. And so, but I'm glad that they stuck to their guns and kept it to the original format, because I think that's what it needed. So it would have been a much longer show too if they ran more people through that. I just don't think it looks right with the name Kunoichi to have changed the format that badly. So, right. But I was happy. It's sort of like, okay, just those 5. Good. That's good. That's very good. So, but yeah, that second stage needs some work. Even outside of just adding a timer at any stage of that needs work. That kind of looks like they put more effort in organizing the first stage, because I thought the first stage was fine exactly as it was. The second stage, not so much. So, and final, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with the final.
Yeah, they could change up the blue stage. I think, for me, I think what Kunoichi demonstrates is the importance of presentation.
Mm-hmm.
If you present something correctly, you could make anything look good.
Yeah.
And Kunoichi has fantastic presentation.
Mm-hmm. It looked polished.
In fact, yes,
and they had
exactly.
the least amount of time to put that thing together and to look more polished than Sasuke.
Yes. Everything looked good on that show.
Mm-hmm.
The way it was presented,
Mm-hmm.
As far as production, and you know, I recently saw the best, like what I think is like one of the best examples of how important presentation is and how much it can make your show.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this clip that's going? I don't know if you saw it online. I've seen this clip tossed around a bit from the Queen of Jokin tournament.
No.
I guess no. Okay, so I don't know. So there's this clip from a Japanese tournament called Queen of Jokin, which, for those of you who don't know, Jokin it's rock, paper, scissors. And they had this whole thing where it's like, it's the final round. These two women, who I'm assuming are like idols or some, you know, celebrities or stuff like that, they're both in costumes. And they're both sitting on both sides of the pedestal, super serious. There's a referee in the middle. And when they're getting ready for the final throw,
Mm-hmm.
you see the camera zoom in on both contestants' faces. And then they throw, they do the rock, paper, scissors. One of them wins, and like all of a sudden there's just this big eruption of celebration. Like, she's crying tears of joy, her opponent's congratulating her. There's this big graphic that says Queen of Jokin, and I'm just watching this and being like, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of a sudden I'm into this.
And it's just rock, paper, scissors.
Yes, and it's just rock, paper, scissors, and that is like the perfect indication of how important presentation is. If you it is possible to present anything with the right presentation. You can make anything look good, and Kunoichi did that.
Mm-hmm.
The presentation was fantastic on this show, and I feel like that it will help the show's longevity in the future.
Yeah, I hope.
And hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope it comes back. Ratings wise, it did. I don't even. It did okay. It did okay in the latest sense, like in the sense Sasuke hasn't been doing all that good lately, and it was around Sasuke. It was below 10. Which is not good. However, that night, not many things got that far anyway. It's, again, most people had no idea the show was even on. And at least for the people that picked it up as the night went on, they seemed interested and stayed with it rather than, I don't know what this is, and they hung up. It's like, it did well once people figured out that it was on. As usual, they don't do a lot of advertising for this. It was all word of mouth on the part of the celebrities. And I think they had to do it that way because the celebrities themselves spoiled with pictures and stuff. Well, as celebrities do, they're professionals. They know how to do this, where, you know, they posted their own photos. People saw the obstacles ahead of time. And so at least those people were watching. This would have served better if people knew way ahead of time, so then they could look forward to it. I think it would have done a lot better in ratings if people knew this show was on, because this was an amazing show. I really hope it comes back.
You know, it's so dumb that like TBS like doesn't advertise their shows.
TBS is the only network in Japan that's working in the negative.
Yeah, maybe they should like
they're in red.
Change their strategy.
Well, that's
it's just yeah.
Let's stay on the positive. You don't want me going down that road.
Yeah,
that's a long rabbit hole I can get into.
it's just amazing sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like, man, imagine if this was TV Tokyo. They would have done a better job promoting it.
Dude, if this was NBC,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, seriously, if you just put this show, lift it, put subtitles, and throw it on NBC, even just holding that license, you would have had merchandising, you would have had actual marketing. I mean, people know what American Ninja Warrior is. Most people think that Sasuke was canceled 10 years ago. You know what I mean? That's the difference of gap. It's sort of like, you're not even trying at this point. It's like, come on.
Well, technically, it was canceled at one point within the last 10 years.
Yeah, but the people that were the marketing geniuses died with it. That was all the people from M9. They're gone. And, you know, they're the one that did all of the heavy lifting. And people can complain about how they cross-promoted everything. They were on every... That's what you have to do. God, how many cross-promotions are in ANW? How many times have they been on Ellen, on the Today Show, on the Tonight Show? It's just like, they know how to do this stuff. And
absolutely.
So that's how people know, especially with in the day and age where there's so many channels. And there's just you need a presence, and they just don't have it. So, you want to get to the questions? Because actually, there's quite a bit of them, actually.
Well, we already answered about the blue stage timer, so that's good.
Yeah, Leo Ortega, how did you react to the Kunoichi intro? We did that as well.
It's really good.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, oh, this is going to be a wonderful night. John?
So,
go ahead.
John the Great, 8,000. Do you think had the poll stayed in the final, Hikari Izumi would have done it? Nah, probably not.
No, because for the exact same thing that you said, she's wasted way too much time on the ladder.
Yeah.
There were too many mistakes in the ladder. She would have been a lot closer, but yeah, if the poll were there, it would have been more painful. It would have been, she's still, because the ladder, she needed to change that ladder technique. Again, they'll train for it. It's a Mary. What do you think of the Kunoichi obstacles? Maybe keep modifier, destroy. I wouldn't touch the first stage. At worst, I'll amp up some of the difficulty. Second stage, they can start over. There wasn't any specific obstacle that bothered me. It just looked like like a Scrabble bag. They just kind of threw things out and going, all right, let's just throw that together. And without a timer, it really didn't matter anyway. So, the first obstacle, that slidey thing, get rid of it. It almost served no purpose. And I don't see how anybody can fail that. We both hate the conveyor.
Well, I mean, if there was a timer, I wouldn't have a problem with it. You need a timer with that obstacle. That's the thing, though. You need a timer.
Yeah, it just seemed a little too cobbled together, and at least that's my opinion of it. The final's fine. People just need to train for it, and now they can.
Yeah. So for me, I would say for the red stage, I would say switch the fishbone and the X bridge.
Okay.
Because I think you would actually get people to fail the X bridge that way.
Okay.
And for the blue zone, I would say keep the spider walk and keep the sponge bridge. Everything else you can kind of just rework and figure out.
Yeah, I agree. They need to start from the. It was interesting because you can tell which obstacles they spent more time thinking. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, okay, and then the other one's going, oh, we have this big gap. Just get them from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Because that is the length of the first stage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let's see. Adam Fisher, ED writer. I don't know if it's Ed or just ED. I think because it's capitalized, I'm just going to say ED.
We've actually had this exact same question about his name.
And he hasn't answered it, so go ahead and say something, Adam.
No, leave us in the dark. Let it be a great mystery.
I know he listens. I'm sure he'll write it as soon as he does on when this comes up. Best clear and best fail in Kunoichi 9. I already know my best fail, and I said it like 4 times already. That's Mika. Because I was going for, at least for me, I had no idea she was going to go that far. It was painful, but it was just like, oh god, you did good. I don't know exact names for some of the ones that fell on the fishbone. Some of them were pretty epic, and it's
the best fail on the fishbone is that one person got hang time.
Yeah.
They got hung up on one of the poles, and they went into the air and they flipped upside down.
Yeah, that's kind of against the rules. You're not supposed to grab it. At the same time, that is just your natural instinct. You're gonna try to save yourself.
Yeah, it's like it's your natural. It's like grabbing it is natural instinct, exactly. But like the one who got flung into the air, that's the best.
Well, that's dangerous, and I can understand why they don't want you touching that.
I know it's dangerous, but it's still funny.
Like, in terms of like the best fails for that were the ones that they swear they almost cleared it, and then they just get clotheslined. Yeah, the last like one gets them. Those are the most painful, because it's sort of like, I got this. Bang! Like,
well, that last row is the hardest one, because it's the only one with 4 prongs on it. Yeah. It's like, everything else has either 3 or 2. Yeah, it's like it just came back a wee bit faster. Best clear. Hikari Izumi, stage 1.
Yeah. Well, God, how many minutes? It feels like minutes. How many seconds she had left? It was just, she did it by a country mile.
I think it's also just because she was the first one for me personally. Yeah. There was that whole sense of like, finally, someone cleared. Yay!
I'm happy for Oshima, because again, most people don't know who she is, but for the ones that do, put a lot more pressure on her. It's sort of well, it was a fluke that you did the wall, blah 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 blah. No, she's an actual good competitor, and I'm glad that she had the opportunity to prove that. So, see. TCM favorite moment not involving a win. That's Mika for me again.
The person who got flung in the air by the fish.
So we answered the same question twice, but yeah, it was.
The fishbone in general, I would just say, is like just great.
Yeah,
so many good failures on that.
So I'm happy. I'm glad. Like, I always say this every single time there's like a renewal or anything like that. It's the I want them to try to come up with something new, and I am willing to give them a pass on the first one. So some of them are going, okay, whatever. I mean, they knocked, they did a home run with this one, the fishbone. So it was interesting. And some other ones sort of like, like the not so X bridge, whatever the heck that was, that needs some serious tweaking. It didn't even look failable to me.
It's failable, because there was a few people who were kind of like hesitant on it and a bit slow. It's totally failable. For that obstacle, all you would have to do is adjust the tension of the bungee cords. Yeah. If you made them a little looser, I agree. Then it makes that obstacle a lot harder. So it's all about a balance. Yeah,
Izumi just just walked across. Like, it was just, she just did. It was almost like the striding steps. Like, it was a little deceptive of how far apart they actually were. Yeah. So, so that was Kunoichi. There's a couple of...
So, let's get some general questions.
Yeah, let's see. Well, at least personal for me. Logan's asking, do you have a rough estimate for release of the date of your book? No, because it's taking a hell of a lot longer than I thought it was going to. It's changed scope, and I think I've mentioned that a few times. And with the present situation, that has changed a lot on how we're going to handle this. And no, it's not going to be this big, scream fest or anything like that. I have to basically go back to the drawing board on how I'm going to deal with it. So, I was hoping to have it out by this year. As of now, I don't think it will be. I'm going to still try to do so. Given that I'm self-publishing it, my biggest issue is being able to have, I know my husband's going to be able to read it to help up, but I'm going to probably need help in getting an editor, and that's going to take time and money, and I'm not sure if I want to deal with that this year. So yeah, so that keep up in social media with me, and I'll update on that thing. This is actually the same person is listed as a Scottish Ninja. Do you think ANW would benefit with international competitors, or maybe an international regional qualifier like Sasuke Vietnam did once? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I don't think they'll do it. Basically, it's an open qualifier is what he's asking.
Yeah, I know. NL's actually doing that this week.
Yeah. Oh god, that's right, it is this week. Yeah, because competition starts on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
In terms of benefit, like, ANW doesn't need any more benefit. They're number one in their time slot a good portion of the time.
It's like they have enough competitors.
And they have enough spin-offs. They're in a situation where they're in danger of oversaturating the market.
Yeah. I say probably not, to be honest.
Okay. I like the interesting idea with it. I don't think it would benefit them. So at least the answer to the question would be no.
Now, if they got rid of USA versus the World... Yeah. And I wouldn't... And personally, I wouldn't mind if they got rid of USA versus the World. I agree, too. Good. What's your reason? That's just me. I just thought last year was boring as hell. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm gonna leave the last one out.
What about Battle Light?
I'm missing, poor thing. The way I have it written down on there, it like meshes. Battle Light, what was your favorite part of the ANW boot camp? Do you want to leave that for next month, since we'll probably go... Nah.
Nah, just do it right now. Just do it. Say
it. I hated boot camp. The best part of it is they got rid of it. Okay, that's yours. What's yours? You have a much different opinion on it, so...
The best part of ANW Boot Camp is that I got to make fun of it with how much it looks like Survivor. And how blatant it was copying off of Survivor.
Oh, dear God, yes.
Okay, but more importantly, I think the one benefit of ANW Boot Camp is that it did give you an opportunity to know more about the competitors and see them, because
in a more natural way.
Yeah, because like you had people like Ryan, David, Drew, Chris Wilczewski. They were all in boot camp. Paul Casimir, Travis Rosen, and
Brian
others.
Brian
Roscoe. And you get to see an amount of people during the boot camp episodes that you just can't really see in ANW these days, because there's so many people and there's only so much time.
I just hated the format.
At the same, like I said, it's so blatant that they were just copying Survivor. I mean, for peak's sakes, they had them throw pendants into a fire when they were eliminated. It's like, I imagine if I took the Tribal Council theme song from Survivor, I could probably get it to match with the
if this aired on NBC, they would have been sued, But because it
Yeah,
aired in some network that nobody saw,
the least watched network on cable.
period. Yes. That was
Yes.
G4 TV. Sadly, Esquire is almost there.
Yeah.
So, oh god. So yeah.
Uh,
Thanks, Banna.
yeah. So
Thanks for that
There you
downer.
go.
I was doing good all episode.
oh well. Hey, look, ANW Boot Camp. It's like, you know, they had them do ops. Actually, know what? No. Okay, I'll say this right now. The best part of ANW Boot Camp was the funniest moment of that of all three of those series. Actually, technically two, because they didn't do one for the first one. It might have been Drew.
Mm-hmm.
So the balance tank. He's getting to do the obstacle, but the thing is, the platform that you start at has like this mesh netting around it. His shoes get caught on the netting, and he does a header and into the obstacle, and he immediately fails.
Actually, you don't remember that. I tried blocking so
I
much out of
the first time I saw that, I laughed so hard.
I
So
raged
there you
so
go.
hard at this tournament. Oh god.
There you go. That's the best part. That was the absolute favorite part of boot camp, was that fall, because it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, let's never talk about that again.
Boot camp was,
That's right, we
camp was
won't.
so weird.
Oh, good. Have Rich and Bijan seen some
Anyway.
of this?
They saw
Okay.
two. ANW
Yeah, this
two.
is true.
So yeah. They saw the controversy with ANW two.
Rich is the most positive
camp.
person, painfully positive I've ever. It's just like,
And even he didn't like
yeah,
it.
but even then he gave it a lot more credit. He's like, I can see why people liked it. And like, nobody liked it. I can see why. Oh god. So
At least the boot camp for ANW 3 was better.
okay.
It was. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it was good. It was just better.
Yeah, I raged just as hard on that one.
I know. I mean, 1 is higher than 0, right?
Oh god. So yeah.
That was a weird question to end this podcast on.
Well, it's random. We decided to leave those at the end. So thanks, Bada.
Yeah. Good job, Jordan.
Well, we decided to take general as well. Yeah, we probably should have left that for the next one. It actually doesn't matter.
Nah.
So.
No. I don't regret
I'm
it.
sure we're probably gonna have like a 5-hour last one for the next next podcast. Our final one.
60-minute episode next month. So,
Yeah, it's like
thank you, everyone, for listening to the Final Stage Podcast. You can find us at finalstagepodcast.com, iTunes, Podbean, and of course on YouTube as well. You can find me at 2D2Will on Twitter, as well as 222productions.com and 2-2.com. I'm going to be busy the next couple of months with stuff that you know about and stuff you don't know about. So look forward to it.
Yep, I look forward to it.
And as for yourself?
I can be found on Twitter and YouTube at Arsenette, ARSENETTE, and ramblingreekin.com and ramblingreekin on Instagram. I think that's all. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm like going through my head. I'm like, I got 4 of them, right?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next month when we talk about Ultimate Beastmaster in full.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Woot! Oh, and what is the other thing
me
we're
too.
following? Team Ninja Warrior. Yeah, it's a.
Team Ninja Warrior and National Ninja.
Oh god, National Ninja League is probably going to take a good portion of that, but yes, look forward to it.
Yay! See you
care.
then. Bye.